Hi Kevin, thanks so much. As you said, we're turning attention now to Bratislava, where England are just 2 wins away from back-to-back European Championship titles. They defeated Spain on Saturday. Now it's Netherlands in the semi-finals, and it's been quite a journey so far.
Then the shot's driven in. Elliott scored it.
I think it's so important that you have to get off to a good start.
Czechia 1, England 3. What a finish that is from Knauf. And Germany take the lead in the 3rd minute.
There was definitely a bit of shell shock, I think, going 2-0 down so soon.
England beaten by Germany.
I don't feel like an underdog. I believe that Spain are a top team, and anyone that was with us in the last Euros, you know, you have to beat all of the top teams.
And England take the lead. The left foot effort by James McAtee.
We can perform, we can play to our ability. We've got a great chance of winning the game.
Spilled by the goalkeeper and it's in. It's 2-0 to England.
Oh, where has this been from England? Pace, precision and passing.
Elliott Anderson of Nottingham Forest shoots down the middle. Goalkeeper goes the wrong way. It's 3-1 to England, and the holders are heading to Bratislava and the semi-finals. They're knocking out Spain.
One of the things that we do in between camps is watch all of the top teams, and I'll definitely put Holland in that bracket. They're an exciting team, a team that we'll be fully prepared for, and yeah, we'll look forward to the game.
A big night ahead then for Lee Carsley's Young Lions. The Under-21s back in another European semi-final. But how will they manage the favourites tag that's now attached to them as they take on the Netherlands in Bratislava? They've grown into the tournament, been tactically dynamic too. But a fresh test today with temperatures in the 30s out in Slovakia, which is where we find our commentary team this evening, of former Liverpool and England defender Stephen Warnock and football correspondent John Murray. Now, John, I'm really intrigued. Before we get into the team news, you and I had a chance to chat yesterday, and it sounded like there was a lovely breeze to accompany this heat. Tell me, is there any breeze to help the players tonight?
Yeah, I can just feel it. There is a touch of a breeze, but it is very warm, and I think these will be the hottest conditions that England have played in yet. Remember the second group match against Slovenia, that was very, very hot. That certainly affected the match, and today, last we looked at the temperatures, it was over 30, so that would mean water breaks, official water breaks, and they are watering, they have just watered the pitch again, but it is very, very warm.
Ben, I'm sat next to John, and I don't know where that breeze is that John's got, whether he's got a fan under his chair, because it is absolutely sweltering.
Well, do you know what? I saw the picture that producer Gary Flintoff put up online of you two, and at that moment in time, you both look very chilled, which is good, but I can imagine over the course of the evening it's going to be a really hot one. Stephen, one thing I need to pick up with you, we had a great chat the other day about how you were going to be sampling the delights of the Bratislavan cuisine, from my intel, all you've eaten so far is tomato soup.
And it is delightful. It is one of the best tomato soups you will ever taste. It must be a local dish out here that they pride themselves on. It is absolutely incredible. It's been on every single menu. And I do like a soup, Ben. So I thought the first night I'll have a go at that, and it was amazing. And every restaurant since has been fantastic. However, Ben, we haven't seen the dumplings. Not one place we haven't seen them.
Incredible. So, maybe post-match tonight, if England go and get the job done, you'll be out on the hunt in the town centre.
That's a problem in itself.
We won't be, because everywhere closes at 10 o'clock.
Okay, well, maybe. Ideally, it doesn't go to extra time, and they manage to get the job done in good time. But even still, it's a shame you haven't managed to go and tick that one off. One for before the weekend. John, just quickly, we must touch on the team news tonight. I was thinking off the back of the other night, is Lee Carsley going to throw a surprise again? Is he going to mix it up tactically? What has he gone for this evening?
No, not this time. There's just the one enforced change because of the suspension to Tyler Morton. Elliott Anderson comes in for him into the midfield, as you would expect, so that means Jay Stansfield continues up front. So the England team is Beadle, Livramento, Cresswell, Kwanzaa and Hinchelwood, then Scott and Anderson, Elliott, McAtee, Hutchinson and Stansfield.
And just quickly, John, on the Netherlands side of this one, we were speculating the other night about whether it was a backs against the wall job for them and whether they'd really had to dig in. When we watch back the game, they put in a really solid performance against Portugal.
Yeah, really solid, but they've lost 3 players. They've got 3 suspensions, and it can only be that they are affected by that. So Ruben van Bommel, son of Mark van Bommel, who was sent off against Portugal. He's suspended. So is the captain, Define Wrench, and they're also without their vice-captain and key midfielder Kenneth Taylor of Ajax. So that means that amongst other changes, Naraisho Casanvillo, who is on loan at Rangers this season from Feyenoord, actually had a lengthy injury absence during the season. He comes in for what will be his first appearance of the tournament as the right back.
Well, look, we'll get more on that shortly as we dive into that Netherlands side and what those suspensions mean for the Netherlands. But just one change from England boss Lee Carsley, and John was inside the England camp yesterday and caught up with the England manager.
It's definitely helps that one of the benefits of this job is that you get so much time to plan. You know, we were aware of the Club World Cup, so that didn't come out of the blue. We were aware of a lot of players potentially moving, and still might. You know, we've tried to be as supporting as we can in the background, because you know these are young players that are potentially moving clubs and going to Club World Cups and all the rest of it. So you know, a big part of our job is supporting that and making sure we're doing what's the best for the players, and you know, we seem to have got the balance right.
What have you liked, and what would you have liked to see done better?
Well, I've liked the level of the tournament. We knew from previous experience that the tournament's going to be a high level. It's not let us down. I think that the host city has been brilliant. We've been so welcomed here. Our training facilities, you went there today and seen them. You know, we've been really welcome there. We've met a lot of the local communities that have come and watched us train and been part of what we've done. What we could have done better, I suppose. The group stage was, you know, we made hard work of it. You know, meaning that we needed to get something out of the last game, which we ended up not having to. But it would have been nice to have been able to rest, you know, a few of the players and give some of the players starts. You know, I know how frustrating that some of them will be that they have not started the game or not even got on the pitch yet. And you know, it's always a challenge as a coach, because you know, you want them all to have an enjoyable experience. And you know, if you ask the group what's the experience like, you'd get various answers from different players, and I'm trying to keep them all as level as I can.
And to go into the semi-final having knocked out Spain, whenever a team knocks out Spain, you know that things are okay, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. But the point that I made after the game is that can't be the highlight of our tournament. You know, there's 2 more games potentially to go that will be potentially better nights than what we had against Spain. You know, it was a quarter-final to get, you know, if you're going to beat Spain in a competition, you know yourself, you're probably going to be there or thereabouts near the final. So, but we know that the Dutch are going to be a tough test, and the teams that are still left in the tournament, we're fully aware of.
Really interesting listening to Lee Carsley there say, Stephen, that he doesn't want the Spain game to be the highlight of the tournament, but that first 20 minutes, regardless of what happens next, will certainly be something that we look back on and say, what an impressive patch of form from that England side.
Yeah, it will. However, if they go out tonight, we're so negative, aren't we? We so often only look at what has happened in this game tonight, and that's understandable. But I think the big thing we know is that there's a capability and a potential to play at the highest level for most of this team, and we saw it in drips and drabs. Now it's about being more brave in going forward in the way that they play and they attack this game. Don't sit back. Play the positive football that we know England are capable of playing. The more they sit back, the more they allow the Netherlands to get back into the shape, the harder the game will become.
John, just for people that might not have seen the Netherlands the other night, what are we looking out for from their side? I mean, 3 very big suspensions, as you mentioned, that really impact them right across the pitch.
Yeah, well, they had to win their final group match against Ukraine, and they did do that. But that was because, a little bit like England, there was faltering progress, really. In the opening match against Finland, they were 2-0 down, conceded 2 goals in 3 minutes, and then only equalised right at the end of added time. They lost to Denmark when they were winning 1-0. And in that Ukraine match and in the quarter-final against Portugal, they had men sent off. So they've had men sent off in their last 2 matches, but kept 2 clean sheets.
Well, the teams are in the tunnel. England playing for a spot in the Under-21's Euros final, where if they make it, they'll meet the winner of the other semi-final taking place a little later on this evening. That's between Germany and France. Can England move one step closer to retaining their title? Over to your commentary team this evening of Stephen Warnock and John Murray.
Yes, thank you very much, Ben. And welcome everyone to Bratislava, charming Bratislava, the capital of Slovakia, which is absolutely sun-drenched. I look above the roof of this stadium, not a single cloud in the blue sky. And the players have walked out, they've lined up, shoulder to shoulder. Probably only 25 yards away from us here and here come the anthems.
Please remain standing for the national anthem of England.
And how nice at a tournament, the Under-21 Euros finals, to hear the two anthems sung and properly respected.
Oh, they absolutely were, and rightly so. And you can see the respect from everyone around, the fans joining in from the respected nations. But what a setting this is, John, and it's great to see also that the stadium is pretty much...
We reckon it's 10,000. We reckon it's about 10,000.
Okay. Yeah, much more than that. I think a lot of people are sort of hiding under the away from the sun. Such is the heat on the far side. They're almost stood under the mid-tier, aren't they?
And the players just coming to this side of the pitch into the shadows. Say about 3/4 of the pitch is in sunshine at the moment. And the England team, they're lining up, time-honoured style. 6 of them at the front, leaning forward. The others at the back, standing up. White shirts with the blue shorts. The white shirts with that blue stripe down each side. And white socks. The England team for this match. James Beadle, the goalkeeper, made that important double save in the quarter-final win against Spain. That was crucial. At the back, Tino Livramento, Charlie Cresswell, Jarell Quansah and Jack Hinchelwood again. So that seems to be have become the settled back four in the knockout stages of the competition. Then Alex Scott alongside Elliot Anderson with Tyler Morton suspended, and then Harvey Elliott, the captain, James McAtee, Amari Hutchinson and Jay Stansfield up front, the Birmingham City striker, still looking for his first goal for the England Under-21 team, but who played so well his all-round game in the quarter-final against Spain, ran himself into the ground. James McAtee is just shaking hands with the captain now, the Dutch captain, Jorrel Harto, the number 4, the Ajax central defender, and they exchange pennants and then off they go. The Dutch side all in orange, and we have not massed banks of orange as you often see when you follow the Netherlands at a major tournament, but there is orange spotted around the 2 tiers of this Slovan Bratislava stadium, the national stadium of Slovakia. And the Dutch team, without Van Bommel, without Kenneth Taylor, without the captain Wrench, making 3 changes, so the 3 enforced changes. Robin Roofs as their goalkeeper. At the back, Naraisho Casanvillo, the fine old man who was on loan at Rangers last season, making his first appearance of the tournament. Then Rav Vandenberg of Middlesbrough, Jorrel Harto, and then Ian Matson of Aston Villa at left back. And then in midfield, Ryan Flamingo, the number 3, who can play in midfield or in central defence, very highly rated as well. Luciano Falenta and Anthony Milambo. So Milambo coming into the midfield for Taylor. Then Million Man Hoof on the right. Ernest Poku is playing on the left, the number 17, he's there instead of Ruben van Bommel. And Tom van Bergen is the number 19, the centre forward. So it's England against Netherlands in the heat of Bratislava. The countdown is finished by the crowd inside the stadium, and it is England who get us underway, and it is Jay Stansfield with the first touch of this semi-final match here, the first of the two semi-finals today. Germany will play this evening in the other semi-final against France, and the final is on Saturday night. But first of all, Stephen Warnock, the conditions and what it's like to play in this sort of heat.
Well, I think when we've been off tube for the last couple of weeks, the one thing is get yourself on the ground, get a feel for it and what it's like. We watched the team train for a small period yesterday. It was close, it was very dry, hard to get your breath, but also the pitch is very dry. They tried to water it before the pitch, but it's about conserving your energy, but making sure that you almost play in bursts where you can allow yourself to play at a high tempo to shock the opposition. But this Dutch team are very similar to England in the way that they apply themselves with their style of play as well.
Yes, in these conditions, I would not be in the least bit surprised were it to go all the way. And for large periods, it probably will be almost walking football, and that's what we're seeing now, with England in possession inside their own half. As we sit here, it's quite a low position just above the tunnel. England with Livramento, who was caught late there by Van Bergen, and the referee incidentally is from Greece. Vasilis Fotias has given the free kick to England that is taken by Cresswell, who goes back to Beadle, the goalkeeper. I know England should be reasonably well acclimatised now, but these are very, very warm conditions, and a crossfield pass very nearly gave it away for England, but it bounces forward to Stansfield on the halfway line. Stansfield, then in comes the challenge on him from Rav Vandenberg, which puts that out of play for a throw into England on the halfway line. So yes, Stephen Warnock sitting alongside me, England international defender, former Liverpool man, watching a current Liverpool man, Harvey Elliott, in possession inside his own half. Harvey Elliott, who leads the way for England at this tournament in terms of goals, 2 goals so far, including one in the quarter-final against Spain as England raced into a 2-0 lead. England go back to Beadle again, and here's Alex Scott with that black chin strap on again, just glinting in the sunshine. Long pass for Stansfield over the top through the middle, comes back, headed away to Anderson, who went down rather easily in the challenge from Harto, who wasn't impressed with the fact that the free kick was given against him, but it was.
I didn't see much wrong with that at all from Harto. I thought it was just strong, physical, won the challenge by Anderson. What I really liked there was the ball from back to front from Charlie Cresswell up to Stansfield. Knows he's not going to win it, but what he is going to do is put pressure on and try and pick up those second balls.
Here's Hinchelwood stepping into midfield from left back, gives it to Hutchinson. Hutchinson goes for the byline, pulls it across all the way for Elliott with a shot, and it's saved by the outstretched leg of the goalkeeper. On the line, he almost did the splits Robin Roofs as he made that save down by the foot of the post, but he got a leg to it just in the nick of time. Otherwise, England would have got off to a dream start.
Yeah, they certainly would. Great play by Amari Hutchinson on that left-hand side. So often now we see wingers come back inside and they want to play safe. They want to come back to in-swing the ball. Amari Hutchinson beating his defender, Casamviejo, to the line, making sure that he's getting a good pullback, and Harvey Elliott doing what all good wingers should, arriving on the opposite side. Clever save from the goalkeeper, actually saved it with his left heel to push it away.
Clever save. Might he have done better? Should he have scored?
Difficult opportunity when it's coming across like that for Harvey Elliott. He tried to open it up on his left foot, and I'm thinking, is he going to bend it into that far corner? It looked like it was blocked off by a defender, so he decided to go near post, but the goalkeeper was actually diving to that far post, stuck out an outstretched leg. I think you've got to give the goalkeeper credit there, John. Yeah,
Robin Roofs, as I say, has been the first choice through the tournament, but in actual fact is the Dutch number 2, because as England come forward again, but the tackle on the halfway line on Hinchelwood bounces back, and the Dutch attack down the right-hand side. Hinchelwood, who played an important part in that England attack, and then Manhoef with a shot from probably best part of 25 yards, which was comfortably blocked by England on the edge of the penalty area, and the Dutch, who are in the all-orange kit, go back to the halfway line. Yes, the number 1, the AZ goalkeeper, AZ as they call them in the Netherlands, Rome Jaden Owusu-Aduro, was absolutely nailed on to be the goalkeeper at the tournament, but had to pull out late on with an injury, so Robin Roofs came in, and that was an important early save by him. The NEC goalkeeper in Nijmegen. So the Dutch in possession, and it is with Hartel, who we may well see pop up in the Premier League. Jorrel Hartel, he's certainly been mentioned as a possible signing by many of the Premier League clubs, and here he is now, left-footed, playing the ball away into centre field, where England are able to win it back. Anderson now driving forward. Elliot Anderson still going, edge of the area. The challenge comes in on him. Referee's not interested. Anderson went down. Scott wins it back. Excellent tackle. Elliot. England now, I think we can say, have started well. They've had more of the possession and they've been very positive. Comes back to Elliot in the shadows of this stand on this side of the pitch. There is Michael Reiziger stepping forward for the first time. The excellent former Dutch defender who had a glittering career, including a year at Middlesbrough, if you remember, Michael Reiziger, but Champions League winner, much decorated, as England go back to Beadle. Livramento heads it forward, jumping on the right wing here. Then Alex Scott now, the Bournemouth man, passes the ball high over the top down the left-hand side for Hutchinson to chase onto. Casanvillo trying to get there. Still Hutchinson with a step over, flicks it into the penalty area. Hinchelwood is there, tried to lay it back. Then the shot from Elliott, that was blocked inside the box, and the Dutch should bring it away with Valenta. Then his pass downfield. This is one for Poku to chase. Cresswell trying to get there, put in the challenge. Poku kept his feet, might have gone down. Poku's cross to the edge of the area. Scott is able to say thank you very much, take it away. And if Poku had gone down there under that challenge from Cresswell, that could easily have been a penalty.
Yeah, he had to time it perfectly, Cresswell, because of the pace of Poku. He gets away from him, but just at the last second, as he dives in, there's a slight deflection, and that just allows the ball to drift to the left-hand side. It allows Cresswell to get back on his feet and get back into position, and then he also wins the ball again and puts another deflection on it, makes it ricochet, goes out of the path of his fellow striker, and really good defending there from Cresswell.
If you just switched over to us on BBC Radio 5 Sports Extra, this is England 0, Netherlands 0. England have had a couple of opportunities, but that the first time, and Poku, as we know from the tournament already, he is very effective, the number 17 on the counter-attack, another AZ player, and indeed scored the winning goal in the quarter-final when he came on as a substitute against Portugal.
Yeah, it's an interesting battle for Livramento. So often what is said to a fullback is, can you take him the other way? Can you ask him to make him defend against you? I think he's almost saying, well, I'm not going to really defend against you, I'm going to stay in that area when you go forward. So it might just be a little bit of a different situation for Charlie Cresswell. He might find himself in that right back position quite a few times in this game.
I must say, I'd like to see that tackle again from Cresswell, the missed tackle that was hurdled by Poku. It's just in the box, I think, as England with Cresswell, Charlie Cresswell of Toulouse, clearing the ball to the halfway line, but Valenta has got it back for the Dutch and plays it back to Van den Berg, the Middlesbrough central defender, Rav Van den Berg, the number 13, whose younger brother is at Brentford, former Liverpool man, as you'll remember, Stephen. And Van den Berg in possession again, just tapping the ball to his left to Harto, then into midfield to Milambo, and then we're seeing the Netherlands have a period with the ball. Flamingo, he receives it back on the halfway line and then knocks it infield to Van den Berg again, and then Flamingo, and he's going to pass it all the way back to goalkeeper Roofs. Just taking a breather there, really, in the conditions.
Yeah, it's a good press from England. McAtee through the middle with Stansfield on the press, and Dutch are finding it hard to play through them, making them go long, and now England mop that up as the ball does go long.
Got a choice of listening at the moment, if you have just joined us. So this semi-final here in Bratislava on Sports Extra, but on Sports Extra 2, Sports Extra 3 right now, live county championship cricket commentary. Brand new Sports Extra 2, Sports Extra 3, only on BBC Sounds. And we've got cricketing weather here in Slovakia, I must say. If it's not a cricketing country, as Livramento actually loses possession on the halfway line. This time it was Tino Livramento who stepped forward into the midfield from the full-back position. Now Hutchinson takes on Casanvillo. beats him. Still going Hutchinson, trying to get back, comes inside Casanvillo, still going Hutchinson, a weaving run, 25 yards out now, finds Elliott. Elliott just outside the box on the right hand side, overlapping run from McAtee. Elliott still with the ball at his feet. Now Livramento arrives. Livramento's ball in, and that is stabbed behind by a stretching Harto, who went down onto one knee to deflect it behind for a corner to England, first of the match.
Malaysia outlet straight away, give the ball to Amari Hutchinson. Casanvillo, he's really struggling to deal with Amari Hutchinson. He's dived in a couple of times and Hutchinson just nutmegged him on the line there, dropped the shoulder on him and left him for dead. And then they recycled the ball well, England there across the other side. Harvey Elliott waiting for the overlap of Livramento. Well defended by the Dutch.
As they say in your old world of fullbacks, he's got the beating of him. It's a corner, England take it short. Scott with a cross, and that's headed away on the edge of the 6-yard box. Comes out though for a shot from Elliott into a crowded box. Too many bodies in there, so someone in orange got a block on it, and now they break away, the Dutch. Valenta over there on the right hand side, orange shirts pouring forward. Still Valenta in possession. His pass through is overhit and just runs all the way through. Like a back pass for James Beadle in the England goal to deal with, just leans forward and coolly picks it up.
Yeah, it was a good job he did get it wrong, because they were outnumbered there, England. There was a 5v4 situation. They got themselves into a nice back four, but we'll come back to that, because here's Hutchinson again.
England have said, here, Hutchinson, you get the ball, take on Casanvillo. He beats him easily. Hutchinson still going, gives the ball to Stansfield, who was on his heels there. And actually, in the end, just kept it in play, Stansfield gets it back again, left side of the box. Elliott makes a run, tries to pick him out. Elliott with a chance and a good save from Roofs. Good play, England. Well done, Stansfield. We saw all faces there of Stansfield, really, didn't we? We saw him lacking the anticipation, but then we saw excellent recovery, and he very nearly set Elliott up for the opening goal.
Well, I think you're being a little bit harsh, John, because I thought Amari Hutchinson should have shot, and I think he also felt that the shot was on Jay Stansfield. But the clever play then to pick out Harvey Elliott, super movement in the middle of the 6-yard box from Harvey Elliott, just nutmegged the defender and then got his shot away. Another great save from Roofs.
Right, set piece chance for England. Keep an eye on Cresswell, who's very dangerous as Scott hits it in deep. Roofs goes for it, loses it, ball bounces down, and that is scraped away to comparative safety by Vandenberg. So England, they have made a good start. I think we can say that now, can't we? As Elliott from deep, long left-footed ball, chested down. Kwanzaa is still up there, the central defender after the set piece, the Liverpool man, soon to be Bayer Leverkusen man. That seems to be getting closer and closer. Hutchinson, Mari Hutchinson again turns, plays it out towards the left-hand side. Scott is still out there, Alex Scott. Scott now, step over, clips it in, and it was deflected off the outstretched foot of Manhoef, and that took it behind, even though Roof caught it. Roofs was beyond the line, and it's another corner for England.
We were at training yesterday, and I felt like there was a real good feel-good factor about the England squad. They seemed happy, and what you can see at the moment is a team that is full of confidence, enjoying themselves, enjoying the football, and it looks like they've got a freedom about them.
Yeah, it's a promising start, but they could do England with taking advantage and getting a goal. In comes the corner too close to Roofs, who stretches high and then goes to ground, and the whistle's gone, and the referee's going to have a little word with Hinchelwood, who I think must have just bumped into Roofs as he was trying to run away with it. He did, not a great deal in that. Not sure big Roofs needed to collapse to the ground after that contact from Hinchelwood, but he did. And it is England 0, Netherlands 0. And I mean, I looked at the temperature, Stephen. I don't know what you probably did as well. I saw 32, somebody else said 34. So it's that kind of region. I mean, we are heading into the evening now. Local time here is 6:15. So technically, I mean, it should get a little bit cooler, or not so warm, but it's not going to dip much, is it, this temperature?
No, well, we were here last night talking to Lee Carsley around the same time, weren't we? And it felt a lot cooler than it does tonight. It feels so much hotter, and especially down at pitch side. What are we, sort of about 12 or 13 rows above the height of the pitch, so we're quite close to it. We can feel that heat, and it's going to be difficult for the players.
England 0, Netherlands 0. BBC 5 Sports Extra, and the Dutch with
Ernest Poku. It'll pass through the middle. Valenta with his Italian roots. Now to Manhoef of Stoke City. Manhoef into the penalty area, little ball, and Valenta tried to give it back to him, but that broke down. The Dutch, Valenta's able to still maintain possession, and then he's challenged by Anderson. Valenta goes down and wins the free kick in the England left-back position.
Yeah, I'd like to see that again. I just wonder whether he almost got a little nutmeg on Elliot Anderson, but Anderson read that situation, what the nutmeg had been made, and he just sort of pushed his arm up into the chest of him. It's actually an elbow to the throat, so maybe it was the right decision, but lovely feet from Valenta.
Yeah, went down clutching his face. He's all right, he's on his feet. By the way, should point out that all of the yellow cards accumulated to this point have been wiped ahead of the semi-final, so everyone starts with a clean slate. So it's a free kick for the Dutch over there in the far corner of this two-tier modern stadium, rebuilt stadium in the northeast here of the Slovak capital Bratislava, in the shadows to our left. And the free kick from near the corner flag is over everyone and bounces harmlessly through for a goal kick. So England have had more of it. They've had two good opportunities. Roofs in the goal has made a couple of saves. But I've said many, many times over the years, Steve, in tournament knockout football, when you are on top, you need to get your noses in front and you need to score.
Yeah, you've got to capitalise on that good period of pressure, haven't you? And I think one thing we would say is this seems like a very similar start to the Spain game, and they did strike early in that game, and they made sure that they built on that, and it's been a positive start. The Dutch, though, we just know they've got that pace in attack, and that is the concern for the English team.
Yes, they've been tested time and again at this tournament, Michael Reisinger's team, that they've kept coming through it. Did lose, as I say, to Denmark, so actually we're watching two group runners-up here in this semi-final, as opposed to France and Germany on the other side of the draw. I think from what I've seen of the tournament, I would say that the Dutch will be the outsiders of the four, but they have proved to be actually quite resolute. But these three suspensions, the people who watch the Dutch all of the time, their broadcasters and journalists were saying that to lose those three players was a big miss. Here's Hutchinson now for England. Step over, into the box. Manhoef in front of him. Casanvillo's there as well. He's got support from Hinchelwood. The ball goes back though, closer to the halfway line, to Kwanzaa, and then to Cresswell, and then back to Jarell Kwanzaa. Just allows the ball almost to come to a stop. Hutchinson comes short, the Ipswich Town man, relegated this season. Then McAtee, the England captain, nearer the halfway line. Elliott plays it across, took a flick off McAtee. Hutchinson actually did well to keep possession for England there, because it was deflected away from him, but he was able to take it down. Elliott's ball in, nice intricate stuff from England. McAtee plays it across, Hinchelwood into Stansfield, angles tight, and it bounces off the defender. I thought it might have bounced back onto Stansfield, but the referee was there, good position, and he says corner England, number 4.
Yeah, just a little bit of a lazy pass from Hinchelwood as it ricocheted off his knee. He toe poked it into the path of Jay Stansfield, and I thought it was a goal kick, and I've just seen the replay again. The referee's got that one wrong, so can England capitalise on this now?
Alex Scott walks away into that corner, bounces the ball a couple of times. White socks, a quarter of the way down his calves, raises his left arm, little steps. In comes the corner from Scott to the near post, but over the top of Kwanzaa and caught by the goalkeeper behind him quite comfortably. Both hands on it, stretching high.
The last two corners that the goalkeeper has now caught comfortably, so where's the block on him? Whose is that job to stop that happening?
And the Dutch begin to play it out from the back. Almost 20 minutes played. Roofs has kept the score down, and the Dutch really had that free kick, didn't they, that was wasted, but the breakaway with Poku, and that's been about it. But they are effective on the counter-attack as they bring it forward with Ryan Flamingo. Now Harto over the halfway line with the pass to Valenta, and his crossfield pass is easily cut out by Hinchelwood at left back again, as he was in the quarter-final against Spain, the Brighton man. Thought the ball
flicked the referee there, but obviously must have been an optical illusion, because otherwise he would have stopped play. And it's actually a free kick for England. And Alex Scott gets the ball moving again. McAtee drags it back. Porcu forces him to roll it all the way back to Cresswell. And then over to our left in the shadows, sitting watching. It is absolutely beautiful, the conditions. And I do detect just that little breath of wind, the slightest breath of breeze. You're not having it, are you? But I'm feeling that, and it is very welcome. There's an England flag over on the far side of the ground. Look at it, it's fluttering away there. And the 5 flags hanging from the top of the stadium on the opposite side of the ground.
You or Gary, our producer, must be stopping the wind from hitting me.
Good windbreak. Here's Livramento. England 0, Netherlands 0. McAtee still halfway inside his own half. The Manchester City man might have run the ball out of play. No, the assistant keeps his flag down. Livramento now pushing forward. That's also what England want to see. Elliott's behind him here, but Livramento takes on the 2 defenders, then slips it through. McAtee with a flick, but goalkeeper Roofs came out and got very close to McAtee. He tried to knock it back, flick it back to Stansfield, but the goalkeeper got enough on it and he's got it safely.
Yeah, superb from Livramento, so much more effective on the right-hand side as he darts between 2 Dutch players, and then a little reverse pass into the path of McAtee, but credit to Robin Roofs, the Dutch goalkeeper. He's so quick off his line, smothers that danger, collects it into his hands, but England again, the danger team in possession.
The ball takes a ridiculous spin off the pitch in the centre circle. The spin absolutely bamboozled Luciano Falenta. It hit the ground and bounced back towards him and over his head. So England have got it back. Livramento. Elliott, didn't work for England. Tried to flick it on down the line. It hit Livramento and bounced out of play.
No, he actually got the throw, John. It wasn't off him.
Defender.
I actually think Livramento left it because he knew if he did touch it, he was only going to carry it out of play. So it was smart play by Livramento.
There's been some nice stuff, hasn't there, from England?
There's been some great interplay. It's been, again, when we were in the press conference yesterday listening to Lee Carsley, he said this was a team that needed to gel, needed more understanding. I spoke to him away from you interviewing him, and one thing he did say was it's very difficult to work with a team that he's not worked with for a long period of time when the games are so quickly 2 or 3 days rest. How do you get that information across to the players and work with them tactically? It's not as easy as people make out.
Yeah, he is obviously the under-21 coach, but because he took the senior job as the interim in the autumn, he actually had a year without working with this team. But he did say, he said consistently it would be clunky. That was his phrase in the initial stages. But the longer that they've been together, and it's 23 days now that they've been together, that there is more of a rhythm about this England performance, but no breakthrough yet because the Dutch have been too strong at the back, and Roofs, the goalkeeper, has made the saves. He's their man of the match so far, and the ball is at his feet now. Plays it out to Van den Berg, the right-sided central defender, but England win it back from Casanvillo, who does look rusty, I must say, the right back, who's had to come in to play. Wrench has played every minute so far, the right back, the captain, but he's suspended. So Casanvillo coming in for his first appearance of the tournament at right back, and England are looking to get Hutchinson up against him at every opportunity. But the Dutch in possession, and we are through the first quarter of the match now. BBC Radio 5 Sports Extra. You can find us on BBC Sounds as well. If you're on the move, you'll find Sports Extra there, as well as Sports Extra 2, Sports Extra 3. And the Dutch with Van den Berg 15 yards inside their own half. Here it comes to Ian Maatsen of Aston Villa, Champions League player this season. Then Falenta back again to Maatsen, and the Dutch just enjoying a period of possession here. Maatsen though goes for a long pass looking for Million Manhoef of Stoke City, gets the ball down, he's up against Hinshelwood, cuts back, gives it to the edge of the box, little ball back to Manhoef on the edge of the area, and then the pass all the way across the box, wastes it really, although Livramento's pass away means the ball rolls out of play for a throw-in to the Dutch. And I think we have now got an official water break. The referee's blown his whistle, and that confirms that the temperature must indeed be over 30 degrees. So we will have a stoppage with the score England 0, Netherlands 0. Stephen Warnock.
Yeah, well, considering I've had near enough half a bottle of water, if not more, as this game has been going on. These guys have been running at top speeds across the pitch. There's ice towels that the players are putting around the heads, making sure that they cool themselves down. It'll be tough for those players. However, they've trained in it every single day. They know what the heat is like, and the preparation for this game will be sort of ready for any occasion like this.
Well, England have pulled out the towels, haven't they? And what towels? Red, white and blue towels with massive Three Lions crests on them. So they're the iced towels that have come out of the cooler box. The Dutch, plain old black towels. Well, there's a win for England. 1-0 on the towels front. And while they take a break, let me tell you, in the county championship, there have been lots of draws in Division 1. Durham against Sussex, drawn. Essex against Hampshire, drawn. Notts against Yorkshire, drawn. Warwickshire need 223 to beat Somerset with 6 wickets remaining. And in Division 2 of the county championship, Derbyshire needs 67 runs to beat Gloucestershire with 5 wickets remaining. Leicestershire Glamorgan was drawn. And Northamptonshire need 47 runs to win against Middlesex with 7 wickets remaining. I wonder if that's the first time anyone has ever sat in Bratislava reading out the latest from the County Cricket Championship. could be a first for us there.
Tick that off your list.
Yes, another first. Still the water break goes on, so while we've got a stoppage here, let me just draw your attention towards Sheffield on the 4th of July, when the Commentator's View podcast will be live at the Crossed Wires Podcast Festival. We would love to see you, me and Ian Dennis. Last I heard, 327 tickets have gone. And the
holds 15,000.
The capacity is 300.
Wow.
So 300 so should be a full house. But of course these tickets are free, which means that people don't necessarily turn up. So you can still get tickets if you go to crossedwires.live, and there are a whole host of podcast live events. Greg James and Tail Enders. Greg James is all over it. Sarah Cox as well, likewise. Russell Kane, newscast. 100 years of shipping forecast is another one. Gardener's Question Time. So crossedwires.live, and of course the Commentator's View is the one that you want to go to. Friday afternoon, the 4th of July. The drinks break has ended and play is about to resume. England 0, Netherlands 0. And an extra congratulations if you pick up your tickets, having listened to us on Sports Extra. Throw. Matson is going to take this throw that was conceded by Livramento. Matson takes it in. Valente with a cushioned volley, but he's given it away at Hutchinson, and Hutchinson for England is running away. Casemiro trying to chase him. The ball looking a little sticky on the surface, I must say, as he runs it forward, and then the challenge comes in the end actually from Flamingo. And I think that really looked there like the pitch surface had dried out. The ball was kind of labouring, wasn't it? It wasn't rolling. Poku takes that down really nicely. Comes off Livramento, who put in the challenge, and that's gone behind. And this is the first Dutch corner now that England have to defend.
Yeah, it was a lovely switch of play over to Poku, but credit to Livramento, so quick to cover the ground, making sure that his first touch had to be right. It wasn't. Livramento jumped on it and managed to put it out for a corner. But as you say, John, they had a free kick on the far side that Matson took, and it was poor quality that went out of play, and they take better quality now.
England flag down there behind the advertising hoardings from Axbridge, as Valente is going to take this corner for the Dutch. Lots of movement at the far post. Deep one, goalkeeper Beadle comes, watched it all the way, and even though attacking players arrived and jostled him, caught it securely, took it well.
Yeah, from a Dutch point of view, they'll be disappointed. Where's the block on the goalkeeper again? Far too easy. From England's point of view, they've obviously freed up Beadle to be able to come and claim that ball. It was a great catch from him into a crowd of players. A couple of bumps along the way. A great claim.
England 0, Netherlands 0. England, the holders, trying to do what Dave Sexton's England Under-21 team did back in the 80s and retain this title. The Dutch have retained it. They've won it only twice before. This is the 25th edition of the Under-21 Euros, and indeed the last time they won it and retained it was the last time that the Dutch actually won this trophy, when they won it as hosts back in 2007. And the Dutch playing it forward. It's knocked down to Valenta, now on the edge of the box. Van Bergen, Valenta into the box. Van Bergen tries to get there. Hinchelwood comes in with a challenge, but Van Bergen threw himself down blatantly. I mean, that might have been the mildest contact, maybe there wasn't. And it looked to me as though he absolutely took a dive.
Yeah, it really did look like a dive when the feet stuck together. He threw himself forward, but...
Flamingo plays the ball over the top, but Manhoef won't reach that, and it bounces into the hoardings.
Yeah, I just didn't feel like it was a penalty at all. I felt like Hinchelwood just did enough, and it was running away from Van den Bergen. It's just, we're getting a replay now of it on our screens, and Hinchelwood just eases him out of the way. Never a penalty.
No. And there was contact, but Van Bergen flung himself down, and the referee simply wasn't buying it. England 0, Netherlands 0. Ball played up to Hutchinson. Now it's taken on, and it's McAtee who takes it on down that left-hand side. Casemiro is out of position. England could make something of this. The ball is played across to Elliott, edge of the area, takes it down in the D, tried to play it through, that was blocked. Hutchinson couldn't get a proper touch on it, and the Dutch scrape it away. That was a chance. England didn't take full advantage of that.
No, he's struggling again, Casemiro. Really doesn't know whether to stick or twist in this game. When you're having a game like that, sometimes the best thing is just to hold your position, allow the game to come onto you. But he's really wanting to go tight on Hutchinson. He's skipping away from him. This time it was McAtee as well. Yeah,
Feyenoord player, but was on loan at Rangers, but he picked up a knee injury in December. Actually went back to the Netherlands to recover from that, returned to Rangers at the end of the season, but he's had very little football this season actually as well. Just 3 starts, 11 substitute appearances for Rangers, and as I say, this is the first appearance at this tournament. Elliott asked a lot of Livramento there, could only head it back down, and Ian Maatsen was able to collect possession of the ball for the Dutch. But and it's clearly, it's an obvious tactic. Get the ball to the left, get the ball to Hutchinson, McAtee, whoever's over there, and take on Casemiro.
Yeah, I just think from Hutchinson's point of view, there's been a couple of times where he's drifted infield, and I'd be almost saying to him if I was Hinchelwood, don't just stay on that touchline. Every time I get it, I'm going to feed you. And here he goes again. Yeah,
Hutchinson receives it. Casemiro gets close, and it is deflected out of play for a throw-in to England that Hinchelwood will take. England 0, Netherlands 0. Stephen Warnock alongside me. What do you reckon so far?
I've enjoyed it, really I've enjoyed it. I think you obviously, we've been watching these games from Salford over the last couple of days, but you can see here now with the shape of the team, how organised they look, the distances between defence and midfield and attack is solid from England. They look like they're really comfortable in what they're doing. It just feels at the moment that they're on the cusp of finding that little bit of quality in the final third, but it doesn't feel like the Dutch are really causing them too many problems. Even when they drive forward, it feels like England are happy within the shape.
So it is 0-0, with Roofs having made a couple of decent saves from Harvey Elliott, and the ball at the feet of Jorel Harto. Van den Berg across to Flamingo, long pass downfield that Livramento allows to bounce, and he's being put under pressure by Ian Maatsen, so plays it back to Beadle, who comes along the dead ball line and clears the ball. Actually, I think almost above the height of the stadium there. It was glinting in the sunshine above our heads as it spun in the air out of play for a throw-in to the Dutch. Ball into centre field, where Milambo, who's one of the 3 players who has come in to this Dutch team that won against Portugal in the quarter-final. Cleared away downfield, England back in possession. Forward to Hinchelwood, but Hutchinson can't do much with that. And then tackling back Hinchelwood, and then nicked back by Alex Scott when Hinchelwood dived in. He's out of position now. The Dutch are back with the ball. Valenta could have gone with the early pass there, but dwelt on it, kept possession, and rolls it out there to the right-hand side to Manhoef. The stadium here, it's around about 20,000 capacity, and it's probably, I think, over half full actually. I think probably more than 10th. In fact, it's been upped now. We were told that it was going to be about 10,000. Now we're being told it's 13,500 inside the ground. I think that's probably about right. You look as though you think it's even more than that.
Yeah, it does feel that.
It's a good little stadium, this.
I really like it.
Yeah. It's a very good venue for this tournament. And the locals have bought into it, as the Dutch with Ian Matson to Milambo, and then Flamingo with his rolled pass to Manhoof, orange shirt again, getting themselves forward. Valenta tried to take it down, couldn't do that. Back to the edge of the area, Milambo with a shot. That is blocked by a diving Alex Scott. This is good Dutch pressure all of a sudden here with 35 minutes on the clock. Now to the left-hand side, Poku, two England players in front of him, Livramento and Harvey Elliott. So the Dutch go back centrally and then back towards the centre circle, where Vandenberg gives it to the number 3, Ryan Flamingo, and then Harto receives the ball back, and Vandenberg has to scamper to his right as Stansfield and also McAtee force the Dutch to retreat into their own half, into the bright sunshine here in Bratislava. And now Matson, more central position, looks to his left. Poku arriving on the left wing, running at Livramento, goes for the byline. Livramento dives in, and the ball takes a touch from the foot of the England man, the Newcastle defender, and it's another Dutch corner from the left.
Yeah, and all stem from Harto at the heart of defence. A beautiful ball, just pinged into here Matson in the midfield area, got beyond Harvey Elliott, and then he was able to feed Poku. Again, Livramento is hard to beat, 1v1 situations, well defended.
Corner then, and again the Dutch players massed beyond the far post. In actual fact, Valenta takes it short, and it is curled in, right-footed by Matson, but headed away by Stansfield for England near the penalty spot. Dutch player has gone down in the box. Referee's not stopped play. It's played in now, but Beadle's able to come, and the referee now blows his whistle.
Yes, Flamengo went down. I just wonder whether there was a little bit of a coming together between him and Elliot Anderson in the penalty area, but pull from the Dutch there, going short, and it was Ian Matson delivering the ball on his weaker right foot. It wasn't the greatest of balls, but well defended by Jay Stansfield.
Yes, it is Flamingo, the number 3, who climbs to his feet, and actually while he does that, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 England players come, the water bottles come on again, and the referee's actually spotted this now and says, hang on, you've had your water break, you can't have an unofficial water break. But they've taken the opportunity, stolen a little march there, and England are back in possession. It's 0-0 in this first semi-final here at this 2025 Under-21 Euros. McAtee stabs it forward, but beyond Livramento and Ryan Flamingo, who's shaken off that knock that he received, takes it back into his own half. Flamingo, one of the PSV players who won the title this season, and he played a lot of football for PSV as well. Champions League player, was involved in that 7-1 home defeat against Arsenal when they went out. They knocked out Juventus the round before that. And now here is Poku. Poku taking on Livramento, beats him into the penalty area, but Cresswell slides in, went to ground, and timed the challenge perfectly to whip the ball away from Poku. And so England now try to come forward, not at full tilt. Scott gives it to Hutchinson, and with 38 minutes played, I think you can probably understand why.
Yeah, brilliant from Charlie Cresswell, understanding that his fullback's been beat. How can he help him out? And he just drifts across to the right-hand side and just says to Poku, if you're going to run him, I'm here, ready for you. Time to tackle perfectly.
Cresswell and Kwanzaa have played every minute of the tournament. We talked early on, didn't we, and during the matches, the studio matches, about it was a combination and a partnership that had to develop quickly, but I think it has.
Yeah, it has, definitely has. A couple of mishaps within the first couple of games and lack of concentration, if you like, but they have grown in confidence, both players.
Elliott through the middle. McAtee curls it back, but too close to goalkeeper Roofs. Elliott made the right run, didn't he? It was the right thinking. Elliott to McAtee, but McAtee couldn't get the pass right.
Just the execution, such a difficult pass, had to be inch perfect. Roofs, the goalkeeper, was alive to the situation, understood what he was trying to achieve, but just he struggled to get into the game McAtee struggled to have a major influence on the game.
England 0, Netherlands 0. If you've just switched on to us here on Sports Extra, BBC Radio 5 Sports Extra, we are in Bratislava, charming Bratislava with its old town, fantastic castle, Bratislava Castle, which sits up on a hill. It's a huge rectangular building, white-walled, red-roofed, and it dominates the town. And then just down at the foot of it is the old town, which is really beautiful. What does your temperature say, Stephen?
At the moment it's saying 32 degrees, and I'm guessing it'll be a little bit hotter for the players down there pitchside.
Yeah, so that's what the players are having to contend with. So how the sports scientist side of these two teams deals with this, the medical department's all important.
Yeah, one thing we are noticing though, the shadow across the pitch on the left-hand side of us that England are defending in is pretty much covering that half of the pitch, and it's just the other half that the Dutch are defending in. So fingers crossed it will be all covered in the second half.
Flamingo goes for an elaborate cross-field pass, but the ball just kept travelling, didn't it? And Maatsen in the end had to jump up and fist it out of play. That's all he could do. So it's a throw into England in the right back position. England 0, Netherlands 0. And after the early chances, really, there's not been too many goal-scoring opportunities, have there? That opening 20 minutes is where we saw the majority of the proper goal-mouth penalty box action.
Yeah, and you spoke about it, John. It was taking advantage of those situations and making sure that you get a goal and put yourselves ahead. But they won't panic, England. They know that they can hurt this Dutch team. They know they can get in behind.
Just feeling that gentle, that ever so gentle breeze just blowing into our faces here. As the ball is played through to Falenta on the edge of the box, bounces away Hutchinson, challenged by Falenta, that's a foul. And it's a free kick to England, halfway inside their own half. I think that breeze probably just blows down the Danube and then just has reached us here in our seats.
Still not feeling it.
No, you're not.
No, not at all.
It's flags, look at them.
I think Gary's like, he must be fanning you there somehow, or something's going on.
England with Kwanzaa at the back, still 0-0. Elliot Anderson receives this. If this does continue, goes into extra time, possibly beyond, we will be switching across to 5 Live Sport this evening. It's actually got a special programme tonight. Steve Crossman, as the ball bounces forward for Stansfield, chasing this. He's up against Vandenberg, but Vandenberg gets the better of him. Just too strong for Stansfield there. And Flamingo was able to arrive on the scene and pass it back to Roofs. Hinchelwood on the halfway line. Kwanzaa hoists one forward. McAtee takes it down, but it bounces away, and Vandenberg is able to clear it. Scott takes that down brilliantly. Then plays it forward to Elliott. Edge of the box towards the right-hand side. Arriving is Anderson with the shot, but sliding in to block it behind the midfielder Nalambo, and it's a corner to England.
Oh, what a touch, Alex Scott. Just takes it away from Flamingo in the middle of the park. He went for a sausage roll and a bovril as he carried on there. And then it's a lovely little overlap. Credit to the defender. Malambo got back in, made sure he got an important block. That was brilliant, wasn't it, from Scott?
Yes. Weren't those pink, do you remember those pink wafer biscuits? Were they called pink flamingos? Might have gone for a pink flamingo. It's a corner for England. McAtee to take this. This is from the right-hand side. McAtee standing down to our right. Left-footed corner into the 6-yard box. That's well defended, actually. I think it was Vandenberg, I think, got his head to that and was heading it away under severe pressure, and he's taken a knock in there, and the referee has blown the whistle too.
It's Vandenbergen, isn't it, the striker?
The striker, yeah. Not Vandenberg, it was Van Bergen.
Yeah, really good header at that near post. It looked like a flatter ball in from England, making sure that Roofs, the goalkeeper, can't come and claim it. Well defended at that near post and just clattered by Charlie Cresswell, who's almost had a magnet on his head this tournament, hasn't he, when he's won those headers from set pieces.
England 0, Netherlands 0. Michael Reisiger down there, the Dutch Under-21 coach, who was a teammate of Gareth Southgate at Middlesbrough, and we are going to hear from Gareth Southgate at half-time because he's been at Windsor Castle today receiving his knighthood. So we will hear from, on Sports Extra,
Sir Gareth Southgate speaking at Windsor Castle, and I have already heard a little part of that, and it's quite interesting to hear his take now on the life of the former England manager. Thomas Tuchel isn't here. We thought that he might be making it for the semi-finals, as Hutchinson is fouled by Casemiro, and it's a free kick to England 10 yards inside their own half. He has been, Thomas Tuchel, away looking at potential base camps for England for the World Cup should they qualify for next summer, and also watching some of the matches and experiencing the conditions. So I think the assumption would be that if he's going to make it here, it would be for the weekend. Ball's played out to Livramento, who was challenged, but Scott was able to move across. 3 minutes of added time at the end of this first half, which includes the water break time, as Elliot Anderson, with a flailing arm.
Oh, come on.
Oh, it's a yellow card for Anderson. And Milambo, the two of them were jostling for possession, and Anderson turns away. And you can tell from his body language, he can't believe he's been yellow carded.
Yeah, do you know what the referee's just said? That's the second one. So as Flamengo went down in the penalty area with the elbow to the head, which was purely accidental, he's just said, that's your second one. That is not a foul. That is really poor. That's using your body, it's using your arms to protect it, to keep the opposition player away. It's... I don't like that at all.
No, it's Elliot Anderson on a yellow card now. England 0, Netherlands 0. And the way that the game has developed, there is every chance that this will continue all the way to be a tight, tense tussle in the heat of Bratislava. Free kick badly wasted by Valenta, mishit it. And Elliot is able to pass the ball forward to Hutchinson. And late on in the first half here, England are on the attack with Hutchinson on the left wing. 2 Dutchmen with him, Manhoef and Casemiro. Gets the ball in, Alex Scott with a chance, but shoots over under pressure. Defender came in, and there are low fives in the Dutch defence. And that was a last gasp challenge, which deflected it up and over the top of the bar from Alex Scott's shot.
Yeah, an absolute mess of a free kick from the Dutch, and great play by Harvey Elliott, feeding it out to Amari Hutchinson on that left-hand side. And then Harvey Elliott continues his run a little over as the ball comes into him. He allows it to go into Alex Scott, but really good defending from the Dutch.
Yeah, I think it was Milambo who was back there defending. So the corner, Scott's got that all wrong, easily headed away at the near post, couldn't beat the first defender. As soon as he hit it, he looked to the heavens. Scott gets it back, Scott's ball in deep to the back post, over Cresswell, who stretched, couldn't get there. And it's all the way through and behind. And it's disappointing, I feel. England have had 6 corners and they've not been able to find Charlie Cresswell from any of them.
No, I think the big problem for Alex Scott there was that he went short with the first one, hit the front man, and he thought with the second one, the one thing I'm not going to do is hit that front man again, overcook the second one, looking for Charlie Cresswell at the back post. A little bit of a wasted opportunity for England from set pieces.
That's Stephen Warnock alongside me here in the commentary position in the lower tier of the stand in Bratislava, the home stadium of the Slovak champions, Slovan Bratislava champions for the last 7 years in a row, as Casemiro is able to play it back. And there is the half-time whistle, and it is 0-0. England with the early chances weren't able to make the breakthrough. The Dutch really only occasionally threatening, and in these very, very hot conditions, no goals, Stephen.
No, but I think there's been positive signs from England, a very positive start to the first half, and a couple of opportunities created, but the movement in which they've got, especially Amari Hutchinson on that left-hand side, has got the beating of the right-back Casemiro. I think there's an opportunity now for England to find the weaknesses in the Dutch team and make sure that Lee Carsley, when he goes in at half-time, he gets the best out of this team, realises where the weaknesses are. But I'm very encouraged by this England performance.
It's interesting to see if Michael Reiziger makes a change at right-back, because Yuri Rahia, who was suspended for the Spain game, can play at right-back. He's a midfielder, but he can play at right-back, so we'll keep an eye on that. And I noticed that Elliot Anderson also questioned the referee, had another word with the referee about that yellow card that he received late on in the half. But there we are, players have disappeared. England 0, Netherlands 0 here in Bratislava at half-time.
Yeah, a really good half from Lee Carsley's men. It feels as though they've been on top, good territory, good possession, managing the conditions really well, Stephen, but as Portugal found out the other night, in football that's this stage of a big competition, when you're on top, you have to take your chances.
Yeah, I think the Dutch have been quite fortunate that Roofs has been in decent form as well. A couple of very important saves, but there's been quite a few last-ditch challenges from the Dutch as well, and that's quite a worrying sign. I think when you look at England defend, it's been quite comfortable. I think there's been good blocks, but good positional play in the way that they've gone about the business defensively. So I'm still upbeat for the performance of England, and especially coming into this second half.
Stephen, you mentioned it just on comms there about what Lee Carsley will say at half-time. And it's been really fascinating watching this battle that Amari Hutchinson is having on the wing. It feels like every time he gets the ball, he's going to get the advantage over his man, Casemiro, and it feels as though he's going to create something. In that situation, do you just keep feeding him, or do you have to be selective in the second half about when you use him?
You can be selective, because what you can't ask him to do is run him every single time, because he'll run out of energy. But you've got to make sure that if you're Hinshelwood behind him, you don't get in his way, you don't overlap him too much, you just allow him to take the freedom of that left-hand side of the pitch and attack the defender as and when he can. But also from the forwards' point of view or the midfielders' point of view, just do not go into that space. Allow him to either go inside or outside the defender, and it's just about making sure that when you pick your head up, you don't have to look, you can just hit that diagonal ball into space.
Lovely stuff, thanks Stephen. I'm going to let you and John see if you can get down to the bench and get one of those branded ice towels maybe to cool down just a little bit. Get yourself down to room temperature again. Away from matters on the pitch, former England manager Gareth Southgate today received a knighthood at Windsor Castle after being recognised for his services to football. In an interview with BBC Sport, he said he doesn't miss managing the national side and carrying the weight that the role brought. Southgate becomes the fourth England manager in history to be knighted, after Sir Walter Winterbottom, Sir Alf Ramsey and Sir Bobby Robson.
It's an amazing feeling. I didn't really know. It's strange, although it was announced over the New Year, it doesn't come to life until you come here today. So, and to be able to bring my family, my parents especially, have been there throughout, wife that's been amazing support, and you realise what it means to them as well. So a very, very special day.
You obviously know Vince from the FA, so did you have a chat, or did he actually say to you?
Yeah, I mean, he is an incredible supporter of English football. You can see when he's watching England, when he's watching Aston Villa, what a big fan he is, and that's genuine. You can't make that up. And he was, right throughout my time with England, amazingly strong supporter. Very good with the players at some difficult moments as well. And as he was today, tremendously supportive.
You said at the time when you stepped back from England you were going to take some time to reflect on what's next. So of course everybody is going to ask you what's next. And what has this year been like for you, away from the spotlight a bit?
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. I think there is a weight that you don't fully appreciate was there until it's gone. I'm enjoying exploring other things. I'm not fixed mindset on what happens next at all. I've got a couple of business things on the go. Still doing some mentoring of young coaches. I do a little bit of work with UEFA, which keeps my eye in football-wise, and definitely going to do some more work. Having a title like this, I think it's important that you give back, and this piece around young men and creating the right role models and finding mentors and encouraging youth work, I think it's very important for our country at this time.
We've got a World Cup a year away. What is it like for you to watch now sitting on a sofa?
It is a little bit strange, but it's also I'm not missing it. So and I think it's important that I am on that sofa and out of their way. That it's theirs to take on now, and I think it's important that I give the team as much space as possible.
What aren't you missing? This part?
It's hard to describe, because until that weight's gone, you don't necessarily realise, just on a day-to-day basis. Every hour of my day was thinking about how do I make England better, what's happening with the players, how do we do things differently. So I think any leader of big organisations, you're constantly thinking about how to do your job as well as you can.
What do you make of Tuchel's England? He said they lacked identity, lacked hunger. Did you feel that was unfair, or how did you take those comments?
I don't think it's important how I took it or what I think. As I said, I think what's really important is for me to give the team, the manager, the space to operate. I think that's the right thing to do. I had an amazing experience leading my country, but it's time for them to take it forward now, and I'll be a fan at home supporting them.
BBC Sports news correspondent Natalie Perks with the questions there to Sir Gareth Southgate. Staying with the football and some exciting news, comedian and huge football fan Maisie Adam is joining the Football Daily on BBC Sounds for some special fan diary episodes from Switzerland. She'll be embedding herself right in amongst the travelling supporters throughout the tournament. And as you can hear, she's quite excited about the trip in her first episode with Katie Smith and actress Vicky McClure.
I am excited. I'm really excited. I think my football world has kind of evolved over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And I'm learning a lot.
Were you a fan as a kid, Vicky?
Not really. I was a fan of like the World Cup. So anything that brought everyone together in a pub and any excuse to just put on the kit and just look like the part. That was kind of my vibe.
This is what's so exciting about international tournaments is it's so many people's like entry point, people that might not really pay attention the rest of the year. You go, do you know what, I'll bob on a kit and get in a beer garden and cheer for the team.
And all of a sudden you're really involved, really invested, haven't been invested all year through, and then you're in it.
I love it. I love it.
And you have like really deep thoughts about the players and how they're doing. I didn't even know your name 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, exactly.
You start you start coaching from the sidelines, even though you've never done that in your life before.
Everyone's a critic at that point.
With the Euros, have you ever been to Switzerland? Because that's what we were discussing before you hopped.
No, I haven't. I would love to go to Switzerland. I mean, whenever you see Switzerland, it always looks like the cleanest place on the planet as well. And after just doing my deep clean this morning, I'm all down for that. It just looks beautiful. I've never been. I would love to go.
The only person to go to Switzerland in July for the cleanliness, really, just for the just like the aesthetics.
It looks really green and clean. It looks lovely.
Well, we were asking the players the other day, Vicky, the England women's players, what they think of when we say the word Switzerland, and we had such a range of answers. It was like lakes and mountains, lovely scenery, and then we just heard chocolate, cheese, and watches.
Yeah, that is true, actually. They do a good watch and good cheese.
Is it Switzerland where they do yodeling? Is that there?
Is that us?
I don't.
That might be Austria. Is that Austria?
I think that might be Austria. But do you know what they do love? They love a cowbell, and they do it across all their sports. So you proper they go for it. So it's really raucous and loud, which will be good fun. And you can drink in stadiums, Maisie. We haven't even talked about that.
Oh, hello.
Cowbells and drinking. I'm in. I don't think I've played the cowbell since primary school.
I don't think I've played a cowbell.
You've never played a you've not lived, Vicky.
I've not lived. I need to go to Switzerland. I mean,
people
for the match.
People don't bring the cowbell to Day Fever.
No, but that could be introduced.
Right, that's what you want to do. You want to get the DJs above at the box just there with the cowbell. Come on.
Maybe bring a tambourine in as well. All the classics.
All the primary school instruments. Be someone there on a recorder to free from desire.
They're all coming back, those school song bangers. They're all making a return.
It's not a rave unless someone's on the triangle. That's what I was saying.
No, exactly. I agree, Maisie.
Lots to look out for over the course of the Euros on 5 Live Sport and BBC Sounds, and that all starts next Wednesday. On to Rugby Union. Steve Borthwick was the guest on the latest episode of the Rugby Union Weekly Pod, chatting to Chris Jones and Danny Kerr. The England head coach was asked about the possibility of calling Owen Farrell up for England matches in July, with many players unavailable after being selected for the Lions squad.
Owen's leadership, the way he was a role model through that World Cup, just terrific. And I've known Owen a long time, and if it was possible to have more respect for him, I didn't think it was, but it clearly was because of the way he was during that period. Firstly, I'm delighted that Owen's coming back and playing his rugby in England. As genuine as we want. You've seen Henry Arundel coming back. Hopefully there'll be more players coming back because we want to make our league the strongest, our league to be the very best. So I'm delighted that. I think Owen's already talked about he wants to get back. He feels settling at home and enjoying his enjoying his rugby at his home club, back playing Premiership rugby. And that's, I think, what every one of us wanted, to see him playing great rugby and enjoy doing it for Saracens. And that's the conversation we've had, and I'm wishing Owen all the very best. He's someone I keep in contact with, I kept in contact with whilst he was out in France, and I saw him. I thought he was very good on the TV as a pundit.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I thought he was absolutely brilliant. And there's no surprise, because he's such a brilliant rugby brain. He understands the game so well. So no, that's the future of him. I think he'll be a very good coach as well, mate.
Yeah, podcast maybe.
Yeah.
But is there, just on that, is there kind of then no rush? Because he's had a tough year with injury. It's been the hip, isn't it? He's had a sort of chronic hip injury, which seems to be better, but then he's had concussions as well. And when you get it to a certain point of your career, as you know, Danny, I imagine those injuries can take a bit more toll at 33, 34 than 23, 24.
Yeah, I mean, Owen's been playing top-level rugby since he left school.
Yeah.
It was,
primary school, yeah.
Yeah, it was incredible. And the amount of rugby he's played, I think at some point it's going to have an impact on you. And I think what he has done, he's really enjoyed the lifestyle, the switch, the change, trying something new. But I also think, and I know, he's delighted to be back at home, back at his club, doing what he does best, which is lead and drive standards and try to win rugby games. Steve, that's a hard question I'd imagine you to answer, but do you see a world where something happens in Australia and Owen Farrell is in a red shirt this summer at all? Because there's been a few rumours.
Yeah, well, clearly I have the same knowledge you have about that, which is not very much, because we're not in any of those selection conversations. So I'll leave that to them, because I've got a great group of players I'm working with here, and so as we start talking about fly halves, I think George Ford is just continues to. I shouldn't be, because I've known him for so many years, but continues to astound me in terms of his understanding of the game, his preparation, his leadership. And here we have the co-captains of Jamie and George Ford on this tour, which I think, to have that level of leadership of guys that unfortunately didn't get picked for the Lions, I think both of them could well have been selected for the Lions. Now we benefit by having them here with us, and so those are the guys I'm really focused on right now.
Did you consider taking Owen to Argentina?
No, he wasn't part of Owen's been on record as saying he just wants to get back playing rugby in the Premiership, get settled, him and his family get settled in life back in Hertfordshire. So I wish Owen all the very best with that, and yeah, so hopefully, I mean, it's more English players returning back from overseas to come back and play in England.
6 Brits have been in action in the tennis at Eastbourne today. Emma Raducanu lost her second round match to 19-year-old Maya Joint in a third set tiebreak. Earlier on, Billie Harris progressed into the quarterfinals after a straight sets victory over Mattia Bellucci, and Jodie Burrage very nearly knocked out the Wimbledon champion Barbara Krejcikova, but lost in a deciding set. Dan Evans is currently 1 set up against Tommy Paul, and 4-3 down in the second. And now it's time to head back over to Bratislava. A big 45 minutes ahead for Lee Carsley's Young Lions as they look for a place in the UEFA Under-21 Euros final. Guiding you through the second half, Stephen Warnock and John Murray.
Yes, thank you, Ben. Welcome back, everyone, to the Slovan Bratislava Stadium here in the Slovak capital, on the banks of the majestic River Danube. And I can tell you that Michael Reisiger has made the change that really he had to, Stephen Warnock. He has taken off Neraisho Casanvillo at half-time after he really struggled in the first 45 minutes in his first appearance of the tournament. And he has brought on the AZ defender, Wouter Hoes, who is also making his first appearance of the tournament. And they've lined up. He's in the right back position. There's the whistle from the Greek referee, Vasilis Fotias. The Dutch start the second half. The score is England 0, Netherlands 0. And Wouter Hoes is onto the field. And the Dutch are attacking with Valenta, who is challenged by Hinchelwood, and the free kick is given. So an early free kick for the Dutch on the right.
Yeah, he could have made that change any time in the first half because of the way he was getting torn to pieces by Mari Hutchison. He's waited till half-time. It is the right decision to make that change, and it's a sign of a manager who knows that things aren't quite right and he has to correct it.
So first minute of the second half, England have got to be on it here. They've got to defend a set piece with the sun shining brightly on the England goal. In comes the free kick to the back post, but Cresswell gets up, heads it away, comes out to the edge of the area. Running through the teams in full again in a moment, but the Dutch heading the ball into the England box from Maatsen, cleared away by England and eventually out of play for a throw, level with the edge of the England penalty area. England, as they started, with Beadle in goal, Livramento, Cresswell, Quansah and Hinchelwood, the back four, Scott and Anderson. Elliot Anderson coming in for the suspended Tyler Morton, and Anderson has been booked, so he's on a yellow card. Then McAtee, Elliott, Hutchinson and Stansfield. And England on the move for the first time in this second period. McAtee. England move into the shadows as the attack from right to left, as we look in our commentary position just above the tunnel. Elliott with a cross into the Dutch box, and Hoos is able to get up and head it down and away to Manhoof of Stoke City, who takes on Hinchelwood. Got a little touch off him, so it's a throw into the Dutch halfway inside their own half.
I think he wasn't too happy there, Hinchelwood, was he? Felt like there wasn't any touch.
I think there was. Throw in that Hoos is going to take. So the Dutch side, Roofs is the goalkeeper. Now the back four is Hoos, Vandenberg, Hato and Maatsen. In midfield, Flamingo, Valenta and Melambo, and then Manhoof on the right, Poku on the left and Tom van Bergen through the middle. It is 0-0. England with the better of the chances in the first half. The Dutch relatively few, actually haven't had an attempt on target yet, the Dutch. And here come England through the middle. Stansfield with Vandenberg very tight on him and actually got a touch in on that, and now tackling back. Stansfield commits the foul on Melambo, and it's a free kick to the Dutch halfway inside their own half. And you have spotted?
Yeah, James. Well, no, he's actually just taken it off. James Beadle did have a cap on because of the sun in his eyes, and then he's just gone behind the goal and actually thrown it off. So quite surprised by that, because the sun is right in his eyes, but obviously not too comfortable with wearing the cap.
No, he's obviously just had a look at that, and there was something that he wasn't comfortable about, and he has thrown it straight off behind the goal. At the other end, the Dutch goalkeeper Roof sent it downfield. Now here is Van Bergen and Poku trying to reach this. Livramento just had to stretch and turn the pace on to get there first, and he turns. Poku puts the challenge in on him and knocks it out. Final touch, throw into England halfway inside their own half. If you've just joined us for the second half, by the way, if you're on your way home from work and have switched onto us here on Sports Extra, it is very, very hot in Bratislava. These are the hottest conditions that England have played in, possibly the hottest conditions of the tournament so far. We reckon it, well, certainly over 30, because we had an official drinks break in the first half, over 30 degrees Celsius, and I don't think it has cooled much since then. So when you're playing in these conditions, Stephen, and the other thing, we talk about it a lot, the fact that the surface seems to be very dry as well in the heat.
Yeah, it's very difficult for the players. I mean, you're trying to conserve as much energy as you can. I spoke to Gary just at half-time when we went in the press room to cool down. I was saying perhaps it might have been a tactic where they might have thought conserve energy in the first half and really go and attack this second half, knowing that the temperature might drop a little bit, but it hasn't really dropped. And it's still very, very warm.
And as England have possession deep inside their own half, and Hinchelwood wins a throw-in off Hoos. Lee Carsley was telling us yesterday that throughout the tournament he has perhaps made substitutions a little earlier than he might normally have done. So we might see that as Anderson just tangles with Hoos off the ball. He's got to be careful, Anderson. And then Hutchinson is dispossessed by Vandenberg. The Dutch go back towards the halfway line to Maatsen, played in the Champions League with Aston Villa this season. It's lost by Melambo. Now England with McAtee. McAtee, that's a nice pass forward to Stansfield. Stansfield up against Hato, still going, and then as he moved inside, got the shot in, but Hato was able to go with him and made the block effectively. Well defended.
Good defender, really good defender, Hato. You can just see how comfortable and confident he is in 1v1 situations. Got a problem here, John. Just as he closed down there, Stansfield, he got caught, whether it was just a flailing leg from Roofs, the goalkeeper. It seemed to go into the midriff or groin area of Stansfield, and he stayed down.
Roofs was clearing it away, and what, caught him in the follow-through? Yes, he did. As the goalkeeper cleared it, the follow-through caught Stansfield on the knee.
Yeah, it's a naughty one with the It's the studs, purely accidental, but they really do hurt, those ones.
So Stansfield does not need treatment. So play will get underway with a throw-in on the halfway line. England 0, Netherlands 0, and in these conditions, and the heat has affected the game as we knew that it would, there is every chance that one goal might be enough to decide this, you know.
Yeah, absolutely could be, John. It's just one of those situations where England just need to continue what they did in the first half, be positive with the way that they've played. They've opened up the Netherlands at times, and just that final little bit of quality in the final third that has been missing, but the Dutch really haven't caused them too many problems.
Long pass forward from the right back position from Cresswell. This bounces Stansfield, who seems okay after that clatter from the boot of the goalkeeper, and then Scott receives a challenge as Van den Berg cleared it away. That was on the follow through as well, but he's quickly back up on his feet. He was telling me yesterday with this chin strap, he said he tries to, I said it must get very sweaty, and he said it does. He said he tries to move it all the time just to get a bit of air into it. But you can imagine how irritating it must be after his broken jaw at the end of the season. As Manhoef couldn't find the pass forward, that was deflected away down into the England left-back area, although Valenta is there first for the Dutch. Valenta now beats Anderson, who slips over. Valenta on his left foot into the penalty area. Van Bergen couldn't find the pass back to Valenta. In actual fact, it was Hinchelwood who went to ground and blocked it, and then there's a foul by Hoes on Hutchinson, and it's a free kick to England in their left back position.
Yeah, he's a powerful runner, Valenta, the midfielder, who drifts beyond Elliot Anderson, who actually slipped to the ground as he went to close down, but Hinchelwood did extremely well to read the pass into the striker, read the danger, and that's where a lot of the Dutch attacks have broke down. The final third haven't quite had that quality.
Stephen Warnock, former England defender, alongside me in the commentary position here, and the sweltering conditions of Bratislava, a summer evening here in mid to East Europe. Hoes, just down to our right, takes the throw in front of Michael Reisiger, the Dutch coach. Kwanzaa gets up high, heads the bouncing ball out of play, and it's a throw in that the Dutch will have near the corner flag on the right hand side. Centre forward Tom van Bergen just picks up the ball, tosses it to Hoes, and the substitute walks forward. He's a central defender really, but he is playing as right back, a case of needs must, and Hoes takes the throw. Van Bergen heads it back, and it is swung into the penalty area rather lamely really by Valenta, and a comfortable catch by the England goalkeeper Beadle at the back post. 8 minutes gone in the second half, so there is the possibility of extra time, penalties as well if necessary. You'd hear them with us on probably 5 Live by that stage. Here's Hutchinson now, receives it from Elliott. Hutchinson takes on the defender Hoes, who gets a foot in, did well, and is able to clear it away. And after all of the joy that he got against Casanvillo there, that was a good start by Hoes, the first time he's been up against Hutchinson, who is probably England's most effective man in the first half. The Dutch coming forward with Poku on the left-hand side. Now here's Valenta again, left side of the box. Valenta's ball across, but Beadle goes to ground. Defender was in there as well, Kwanzaa, between them. It's deflected off them and behind for a Dutch corner from the left.
That's that strong running from Valenta again from midfield, making another attacking player, gets in behind, and he tried to pick out Manhoef, but the ball was actually on was Van Bergen, who'd pulled off onto the edge of the box, or the sick just around the penalty spot. James Beadle, no chances taken, strong hand, turns it away to safety.
He's done well, Valenta, the fair-haired, tall midfielder from Groningen, who's a late addition to the squad and has scored 2 of the Dutch goals at the tournament. The corner then for the Dutch, poor delivery, easily cleared away, first man for England. Hinchelwood at the near post just volleyed it away to the halfway line.
Yeah, they've got some nice players, the Dutch. I really like Harto at the heart of defence, and then the midfield three have got a lovely balance about them. Ryan Flamingo at the heart of the defence, just sits in front of that back four, and Malimbo, he covers some ground, great at challenging and making sure that he's nicking balls off players. So they've got a really nice balance in that midfield area, and England just found it a little bit difficult having a 3v2 situation in that.
Yeah, good all-round footballers in the classic Dutch style. And it's amazing going through the 23 how many of them came through the Ajax academy.
Typical.
Yeah, very much so. It's the Dutch, all in orange, Actually, they, like England, have got a blue stripe down each side of their shirt. Go back to goalkeeper Roofs, and Roofs puts his left foot through that, down the middle. Kwanzaa stretching, stooping, is able to head it forward towards Livramento, and the tall Newcastle man with the jet black hair takes the ball on through the middle, moves towards the left-hand side, gives it to Hutchinson. Hutchinson's early cross, this time over Stansfield and also over Harto, bounces away into the full-back position, and the Dutch are able to play it downfield, but Kwanzaa's able to get that and play it back to Beadle. The man just in front of us walks to his seat with 4 plastic beakers of what look like ice-cold lager. Possibly Czech beer, possibly Slovak beer. That looks very tempting. England 0, Netherlands 0. Not yet, Stephen. Livramento, ball to the right-hand side. Now then, England could be on for something here. Stansfield, back to Livramento, in the area. His shot is blocked by the defender, Van den Berg, and it actually bounces out to Valenta, and the Dutch could be off on the counter-attack here. In the heat, off they go. Poku, Valenta, what a run that is from the edge of his own penalty area. Back in possession. Valenta's now ball right across the edge of the penalty area, taken down by Manhoef. Manhoef trying to find a position on the edge of the D. Alex Scott went with him, and then Milambo. Then Manhoef has another chance on the edge of the box. England players all around him. Keeps his feet, even though he was challenged there by McAtee. This is good from the Dutch. Flamingo, square from him, and Milambo now. England back in position, but Flamingo still has possession for the Dutch, who go back towards the halfway line. Van den Berg drives the ball across this sticky-looking surface to Manhoef, who's in a triangle of shadow. Manhoef onto his right foot, whips it across the England goal, and in the middle, Charlie Cresswell was in position there to get a left foot to it. Cleared it up in the air, and it landed in those two-tone blue seats behind the goal.
There's been a big improvement from this Dutch team in the second half.
Corner taken short, swung in by Manhoef. Beadle comes, defender was there as well. Between them, they managed to clear it to the edge of the penalty area, where Milambo gets it down, gives it to Van Bergen. Then again, Milambo just outside the box. The Dutch forcing England back into their own penalty area. Flamingo, and then Poku played back to Matson, who's going to have a goal. Beadle diving to his left makes a save. He wasn't at full extension, but it was well hit by Matson, and diving to his left, the Brighton goalkeeper made a very good save. First attempt from the Dutch on target.
Yeah, luckily for Beadle, he got a real good look at it through a crowd of players, but there was a gap as it went through the players that he saw the ball all the way, had a sighter of the flight of it, didn't want to try and keep hold of it, knew that the safe option was just to push it round the post. Smart save from the goalkeeper.
Corner then. This is good pressure. This is the best spell the Dutch have had in the match so far, in this first semi-final at this tournament. Matson's going to take the corner now. Deep to the back post, Cresswell's up and able to head it across the box. It's overhead kick back in across the goal, but Beadle's able to get to it and claim it with both hands at the near post on the goal line. England 0, Netherlands 0. BBC Radio 5 Sports Extra, we're on BBC Sounds as well. County Championship on Sports Extra 2 and Sports Extra 3. Every match live, also via the cricket pages of the website. I can tell you that Warwickshire Somerset has also finished as a draw in Division 1, and in Division 2 Northamptonshire have beaten Middlesex by 4 wickets, and also Lancashire Kent has ended as a draw. England 0, Netherlands 0. Later this evening, Germany-France in the second semi-final over in the east of the country in Košice, and then the final Saturday night will be back here in this stadium in Bratislava. 0-0. Lee Carsley goes down on his haunches, yet to make a change, and we're almost to the hour mark, Stephen.
Yeah, he's just made a change in position for Harvey Elliott and Amari Hutchison. Elliott's just come across into this left-hand side right in front of us, and Amari Hutchison now playing off the right-hand side. Just a little bit of a change of thought process from Lee Carsley, but it might just need a change of personnel on the pitch as well.
Do you think that's just to give, because Matson has come more into the game, playing as the left back, as Elliott curls one in towards the edge of the area. Rav Van den Berg was able to head it down and away, and then McAtee loses out to Valenta. Hoos forward to Valenta again. Hinchelwood does well, puts in the challenge. Valentas all over the back of Hinchelwood, fouls him, free kick. Hinchelwood takes it quickly, goes back to Cresswell on the halfway line. Now, probably 4/5 of the pitch is in shadow, but Beadle, I see him there in the goal to our right, shielding his eyes. The other end, McAtee crosses all the way across the penalty area, taken down by Hutchinson. Now playing on the right-hand side. Hutchinson, 2 defenders in front of him, trying to find a position, flicks it. Livramento will do well to reach that. And the referee says the final touch was off the England man. Goal kick, still 0-0. Stephen Warnock.
Yeah, a little bit of a wasted opportunity there from Amari Hutchinson. You have to give credit to the defender, Ian Maatsen, who does extremely well, but you just feel like England need to up the tempo here. Very difficult in the temperature, but they've got to find a way back into this game. It's almost been a little bit too lethargic in the second half.
Who'd you be thinking about substitutes-wise? I'm sure we'll see Waneri at some stage, you would think.
Yeah, I think he's your obvious choice, and then you've also got Jonathan Rowe as well.
Yeah.
Also to bring a bit of pace into the forward line for England.
Maybe the full-backs. This is better from England. Anderson. Now to Elliott. Elliott, right side of the area. Right foot shot. There it is. It's the opening goal of the semi-final. Harvey Elliott has scored it. What a finish that was. No stopping that for Roofs. And England lead 1-0.
We talked about England needing a little bit of quality, and they get it from Harvey Elliott. He's been on the cusp of the game, he's had some really good moments, but he's just been a little bit quiet. We know the quality that Harvey Elliott's got, and he fires England into a lead, not with his trusty left foot, but this time with the right foot, drills it past Roofs, who's been outstanding in the game. But it came from the great play from Elliot Anderson in midfield. He drove past Milambo in that midfield area. There's a bad challenge coming in as well from Harto, who stepped out to try and stop that pass going into Harvey Elliott. He composed himself with his left foot and drills it with his right foot past Roofs. What a goal, what a moment to score it as well.
Went for the near post, and with real power. It was high above Roofs to his left, but it just flashed past him into the net. And Harvey Elliott scores his 12th goal for England at under-21 level, and his 3rd goal of this tournament. Scored against the Spanish in the quarter-final, and now scores the opening goal in the semi-final against the Dutch. And I see Lee Carsley is already thinking, I believe, about potential changes with England having scored the goal in this tight semi-final. If you've been listening, you will know that. That's what we've been telling you. And we did suggest that maybe 1 goal might be enough, but let's see. The Dutch coming forward. Kwanzaa does well, steps in, just blocks the pass. No nonsense defending there from Kwanzaa. And then free kick won by Anderson. And you're right, Stephen, you said that gasp in the build-up to the England goal when Anderson was challenged, which was a late challenge, and possibly as well. I don't think he was booked. There wasn't a yellow card. I think if that had happened, in the centre of the field, a challenge like that, it would probably be a yellow card. However, the ball ran to Elliott, who did the rest.
Yeah, lovely play from Elliot Anderson. He has got that strength and power to drive past players, and Harto emptied him. It was a really heavy challenge, and he's just been taken out again there. Elliot Anderson picked himself up, which is a good sign for England, but now it's about game management for England.
Yeah, England 1, Netherlands 0. Oh, well played, Hutchinson. Beats Hoos. Now Manhoef's trying to get back. Hutchinson into the penalty area. Taken into the byline, then cuts back onto his right foot. The Dutch have managed to get players back now, and perhaps the threat has gone. Hinchelwood receives it from Hutchinson, who's back on the left-hand side. Hinchelwood plays it to Hutchinson. Lovely flick. Right foot shot. Dragged it wide of the near post into the outside of the netting. And behind, well played, England, well played. Hutchinson and Hinchelwood.
Yeah, lovely link-up play by the two players. Great way to pass from Hinchelwood, who splits 2 Dutch defenders into the box. Little Cruyff turn by Amari Hutchinson. Sells Hoos, the new right-back who's come on at half-time. And Jay Stansfield must be saying to Amari Hutchinson, well, I'm not going to score a goal if you're not going to pass it to me. Simple pass across the 6-yard box, and it's a tap-in for Jay Stansfield. Just a little bit of a rush of blood to the head from Amari Hutchinson.
Yes, and he is back on the left now, isn't he, Hutchinson, with Elliott back on the right. So you've got that combination, as I said there, of sounds like 2/3 of a law firm, doesn't it? Hutchinson, Hinchelwood and Scott would probably be another. You'd need one syllable, wouldn't you, after that? So Alex Scott might join them for that venture in 15 years' time, should they be on their uppers. England 1, Netherlands 0. Harvey Elliott's goal. Seen some big goals from him this season. Remember the Parc des Princes? Now England having to defend as Milambo tries to slip it through into the box. Bounces out to Hoos. Now here's Manhoof, Million Manhoof, the brilliantly named Stoke City player. It breaks down on the edge of the box though for the Dutch, and Elliot Anderson is able to play it away downfield. In the immediate aftermath of the goal, I got the impression that England were going to make changes, but Lee Carsley is just standing down to our left. I mean, probably 20 yards away from us, that's all. Ashley Cole just behind him. We saw Ashley Cole warmly greet Nigel de Jong, didn't we, before the match? He was the Dutch technical director, as the ball is played forward for Manhoof. Hinchelwood very tight to him. England with this 1-0 lead, got to defend well now, and it is deflected out of play off the Brighton man for a throw into the Dutch down the right-hand side. Throw taken infield, Flamingo back to Manhoof between the legs of Hinchelwood, but Alex Scott was in position there, and he was trying to draw the foul from Manhoof, but only succeeded in conceding a corner, so it's a Dutch corner from the right.
Yeah, and also England wanted a foul throw. Manhoof just threw it down towards the floor in front of him, and it did look like it was a foul throw, but we're going to carry on till the referee blows his whistle.
One thing we've learned at this tournament is that the young footballers of Europe aren't very good at taking throw-ins. There could have been 5 or 6 in every game. The Dutch are going to make another change, but they've got this corner first. Matson plays it in, high one to the back post. Kwanzaa got up there, the Liverpool defender, to head it out into the full-back position. It's Noah Ohio who is going to come on, the former Manchester United and Manchester City youngster, the number 9. The Dutch still attacking. Poku does very well, stabs it across the box, and England clear back out towards the far side. Now Malambo, corner of the box. Valenta is there as well. This Dutch team missing 3 important players because of suspension, but it's been in these conditions an energetic performance from the Dutch. Matson's pass into the area, that's headed away, and there's a foul actually on Livramento, and a free kick, and we're going to see the change now, and it is the big-shouldered 22-year-old, now plays for Utrecht in the Dutch top division, Noah Ohio, who actually grew up, part of his childhood was in England, played for England's under-16s, and now as a Dutch under-21 international is coming onto the field for the remaining quarter of the 90 minutes. So that Dutch change, it's going to be Malambo coming off from the midfield, Stephen, and we are now having the official cooling break, as UEFA call it, so the players are taking on water and those iced towels come out of the box again.
Yeah, I think the change from the Dutch tells you everything. Taking off a midfielder, going with another striker up top. It looks like they'll almost go match England with a 4-4-2 system. Ohio now will be looking to have an influence, and you're right, John, he's got broad shoulders, he's a big physical player. He'll look to try and pin the likes of Kwanzaa and Cresswell and be physical and allow other players to come into play. But yeah, they've got a job on the hands now, the Dutch, to try and get back in this game.
Yeah, Noah Ohio, Hull City fans will know him. He was on loan there while he was at his previous club, Standard Liège. So he's still waiting to come on. He just looked up at us there, standing with his hands on his hips on the halfway line, let out a big breath of air, just gets his orange shirt out and untucks it from his shorts, scratches his chin. Looks like he's got the weight of the world on his shoulders.
He's had a few clubs, hasn't he, sir, at an early age?
Yes, he has. Leipzig, he was at Leipzig as well. He's on loan at Austria Vienna and Vitesse. Seen a bit of the world. Right, and there is the fourth officials board. That's the end of the cooling break, the water break
is over. The England Three Lions towels go back in the boxes, in amongst all of the ice cubes. Likewise, the black towels of the Dutch. And we're into the last 20 minutes now, Stephen. England 1, Netherlands 0, tight semi-final. What England need to do is all too obvious.
Yeah, well, it's managing the game, but it's not being negative with that. You can't just simply pass the ball around the back and invite pressure onto you. You've still got to be positive in the way that you play, but perhaps you just keep your full-backs a little bit tighter to your centre-backs. One of your midfielders stays a little bit closer towards the back four.
Play resumes with free kick for England, downfield from goalkeeper Beadle, who he looks like he's got the sun right in his eyes now. Only the penalty area, the England penalty area, has sunshine splashed across it. Cresswell miscontrols the ball, and Ohio goes for goal! Oh, what a goal! The equaliser! What a finish from way out on the left wing! Ohio, who has just come onto the field, the former England under-16 international, went for goal, and what a finish! Beadle was caught out, and it's 1-1.
And what an impact from Noah Ohio. He saw James Beadle was off his line. It's poor from Charlie Cresswell. He misses the ball completely, but Ohio, he must be 30 yards out, and he just unleashes a left-footed curling effort into the near post. James Beadle, he can't get back round. He throws himself towards it, doesn't get close to it. That is a goal of the highest quality.
That's one of the goals of the tournament. That's opportunism. That is terrific centre-forward instinct.
Yeah, straight away sees where the goalkeeper is, understands the position. I just wonder whether they chatted about it on the touchline in front of us, because Noah Ohio, he ran across to the bench and they gave a high five to one of the coaching staff.
England on the move. Alex Scott attacking the Dutch penalty area, but in comes the challenge. It bounces away. Now Van Bergen for the Dutch. They've just made it 1-1. England led for only 10 minutes, and a large part of that actually was the cooling break. Now Manhoef. England on the back foot now, having just conceded the equaliser. Manhoef's ball right across the box to the left-hand side. The Dutch in possession with Polku. Goes back to the Aston Villa man, Maatsen, who returns it to Harto, closer to the halfway line. Well, that has changed things. A little slip from Cresswell, and then Beadle, the goalkeeper, caught out, and in the twinkling of an eye it's 1-1.
Yeah, a lapse of concentration from Charlie Cresswell. He'd be kicking himself because it was such an easy ball into him. Just takes his eye off it, goes over his foot and then in behind. But you have to give credit to Ohio to spot the goalkeeper where he is on the pitch. It's a magnificent finish.
And it's difficult to tell from over there because we're on the opposite side of the field. The margin for error there, the gap that he had to go for, I think would have been very, very narrow, and he found it perfectly.
Oh, exactly that, John, and the pace of which he hit the ball and the precision of it, it's absolutely inch perfect. Couldn't have been any better.
So back to all square with less than 20 minutes to go. Well, 74 minutes actually on the clock right now as the ball comes back to Alex Scott and England. Here's Hutchinson on the left. Still, England have not made a change, Steve, in these sweltering conditions. As Anderson plays it back, you'd think there'll be a substitution coming shortly, but it's actually the Dutch who are going to make the next change, and Bjorn Meyer, the Club Brugge defender, is going to come on, just standing down in front of us. Still, Lee Carsley is down on his haunches there with his purple top, that hooded purple top. Doesn't need to put the hood on today. Anderson passed through the middle to Hutchinson. Hutchinson is leaned into by Hoos, and that is a free kick that Anderson wanted to take quickly, but the referee blowing his whistle, as you can hear, is saying we're going to have the change, we're going to have the substitution first. So the Dutch are bringing on Meyer, and it's Valenta coming off from the midfield. So Bjorn Meyer, who is, as I say, Club Brugge Champions League player, won the Dutch Cup at the end of the Belgian Cup at the end of last season with Bruges, is going to come on, as he has done in the last 3 matches. So he's been on the field in all
all 5 of the Dutch games. So Valenta has put in a shift. He's been everywhere.
He certainly has, and I'm sure the England midfielders will be pleased to see him go off. But he's a big lad beyond there, isn't he? Really tall.
Yes, he is. And he's gone right to the edge of the Dutch penalty area, because they have to defend this set piece, which is being taken by England from the left side of the middle of the half. Elliott curls it in, half-headed away and down, but it bounces down for Harto to bring it away for the Netherlands. And then Poku on the stretch, can't keep it for the Dutch. Back to the white shirts of England. Alex Scott with the sunshine still just glinting off the top of the strap, over the top of his head of that jaw strap that he's wearing. Here is McAtee down the left-hand side. His ball in field bounces off Manhoef, and the Dutch have got possession back quite comfortably. McAtee stayed on the ground. Still looking to see if there's any movement there under the roof of the England dugout. There must be a change coming shortly, surely.
Yeah, especially after his press conference yesterday, where he spoke about the changes that he wanted to make early. Ideally in other games he wouldn't have made them so soon, but they are going to make a change now, John.
Yes, they are. Yeah,
looks like Jonathan Rowe.
Right, okay. Dutch coming forward, but Hoos loses out, and then he manhandles Elliot Anderson, and that was asking for a yellow card, and the referee obliges. So Wouter Hoos receives the yellow card, which I think is the first one that the Dutch have received.
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, so free kick on the halfway line. So we're just waiting to see who's going to come
it's
on.
Not Jonathan Rowe, actually.
Brooke Norton-Cuffy.
Yeah, it is.
Who is just now appearing from underneath the roof of the dugout.
Oh no, it is Jonathan Rowe as well. I thought I'd seen him.
Yes, yeah. So the two of them are going to come on. Well, every time Brooke Norton-Cuffy has come onto the field for England, which he has done in the last 3 matches, he has brought energy. James McAtee, that is it for the captain. So Harvey Elliott will trot over and take the captain's armband. If you've just joined us, it's 1-1 in this semi-final here in Bratislava. So James McAtee and Amari Hutchinson are the two to come on.
Yeah, I just wonder now with the right back who's been on a booking, Jonathan Rowe, with that pace that we know he's got. Take him on just every time you get the ball. Have a freedom to lose it, but by taking him on and being positive, make sure that you go out. And then Norton-Cuffy, we saw this change in the last game where he came on in that right midfield position. People thought it was negative. It absolutely wasn't. It was a real positive change, but they obviously feel that Poku, they don't want him getting in 1v1 situations late on in this game.
It's 1-1 here, and we're heading into the closing stages. Just over 10 minutes to go. Anderson, and here is Jonathan Rowe now. Long pass from Anderson, bounces. He'll do well to keep it in. No, he can't. It bounces up and through and behind for a goal kick. So Lee Carsley brings on 2 of his continentals, Jonathan Rowe of Marseille and Brooke Norton-Cuffy of Genoa are onto the field, and extra time is beckoning. 1-1 after England took the lead with an excellent finish from Harvey Elliott, but Noah Ohio, the substitute, with a really opportunist finish from way out on the left, as you said, Stephen, probably 30-35 yards that he finished from, and threaded it through the eye of the proverbial needle with James Beadle off his line, but errors from Cresswell, and then Beadle caught out. So 1-1 it is. Throw in. Hinchelwood to take this. Hinchelwood with a throw. Anderson allows it to bounce in front and then punts it up in the air with a volley, but way beyond Jay Stansfield, and goalkeeper Roofs was able to take the catch. 10 minutes to go then.
Yeah, Elliot Anderson there just looking for a ball over the top to Jay Stansfield. He's fed on scraps on this game, Jay Stansfield. He's run that back line again like he did in the previous game, but England need something here. They need just to either get themselves into extra time or make sure that they don't concede, with the Dutch with the tails up a little bit.
And now we've got the feel of a hot summer evening here in Bratislava. It is hot, it feels humid, it's sticky, it's sweaty. And here's Scott putting in the challenge on Manhoef, and then fouling him, putting in another challenge as well. It's just a free kick though to the Dutch, 5 yards inside their own half. 1-1 the score, so we may well move across from Sports Extra to 5 Live. From 8 o'clock tonight we've got a Steve Crossman special, The Welsh Way, from 8 o'clock which I know Steve's put a lot of work in, and it's all about how the Welsh FA have produced so many elite coaches from their coaching programme. So listen out for that. And then from 9 o'clock on 5 Live, how the Lionesses won the Euros as we build up to our coverage next month. Don't miss that. 5 Live, the place to listen to all of the commentaries on Sports Extra as well from the Women's Euros. Very soon as well, we'll bring you the Wimbledon, the Open, and all of the other summer sport. But here we are, watching England 1, Netherlands 1, and the Dutch with Ohio. And now Poku takes it into the box on his left foot, but then has to play it back out of the area to Maatsen. Maatsen allows it to roll and then actually drags it back and away from Alex Scott, plays it through via a deflection, comes off the England man, and Brooke Norton-Cuffy has allowed it to roll out of play. And that came off Alex Scott, and that's a corner, and that is a lapse by Norton-Cuffy to corner to the Dutch. If they score from this, that'll be a real error.
Quite often that does happen though, John, because you're so looking at something else that's going on the pitch, tracking a run, and you see that run and you don't see where that deflection comes from. Just communicate, make sure that you're telling the player, don't let it go out of play.
Lee Carsley will be fearing the worst here. It's a corner from the left, it's an outswinger, but Charlie Cresswell took command of that. What a header away from the Toulouse man, and he's headed it forward for Harvey Elliott, and Harvey Elliott with the pass. This is for Anderson to chase. Dutch defenders getting back. Jonathan Rose available. Anderson goes for the pass all the way across the penalty area, which is nodded back into the area. Stansfield, still Elliott, turns, still Elliott, couldn't get the ball down, and then shoots via a deflection. It bounces up in the air, and Roofs, the goalkeeper, is able to leap high and catch it.
Oh, Lee Carsley was jumping around in front of us on the touchline, hoping it would fall to one of his players. As it did come to Harvey Elliott, I thought there was an opportunity just to square it to Jay Stansfield, but he wanted to take that opportunity on himself, on his right foot. Well, blocked out in the end by the Dutch defenders, but real quality counter-attack from England.
Excellent, but no goal. And England 1, Netherlands 1 remains the score. Another double change coming, Stephen. Waneri and also Hayden Hackney coming on again for England. So Alex Scott now for England. Referee spotted it bounce up and hit his hand, so that's given us a free kick, and I think we will see these next 2 England changes now. So already McAtee and Hutchinson have been replaced. Ethan Waneri, you'd think he's just the sort of man you would need in these circumstances to take on tiring defenders. That's it for Alex Scott, and also Jay Stansfield, who again has put in a great effort, but still hasn't been able to get off the mark with his first goal for this team.
No, he'd be disappointed, won't he? But he's worked relentlessly in the forward areas, the unselfish runs that he does make, and Alex Scott with a very good performance in midfield as well. So it looks like Waneri will play through the middle now, pose a little bit of a different challenge to those players in the back line of Holland. Harvey Elliott has now come into that central position just off Waneri as well.
England 1, Netherlands 1. We are, 6 minutes plus added time away from extra time in this semi-final. Manhoef on the chase, Beadle comes out, and Manhoef on the stretch. I thought he was going to catch Beadle with his foot there, but the England goalkeeper was able to claim it, and England are able to move forward again with the ball.
Yeah, he was away, but brilliant defending by Jarell Kwanzaa. Made sure he got across, and he just leaned on the shoulder of Manhoef and pushed him away from goal, and couldn't quite carry the ball towards goal.
Cresswell now out to the right-hand side. Norton-Cuffy and Livramento pushing well up the right flank, but can't reach that pass. The Dutch clear it, but England back in possession again as it is played back towards Cresswell on the halfway line. Hayden Hackney into the action for the first time, the Middlesbrough man. He's got his teammate, his clubmate Rav Vandenberg out on the field, the Middlesbrough man on either side. Here's Elliott, England's goal scorer, comes in field on his left foot, still going, oh, it's opened up, and Elliott scores! Left foot, bottom corner, it's Harvey Elliott again! 2 goals in the semi-final, and England are back in front, 2-1 over the Dutch.
Well, the England players are off the bench, the substitutes, they're in and around Harvey Elliott, and rightly so. This is a goal of the highest qualities. He steps forward he just drops the shoulder. He sends one of the Dutch midfielders, I think it's Flamengo, who just steps aside and gets nowhere near him. And as he drives forward, Harvey Elliott, it just opens up, and you're thinking, we know that left foot's got quality. Where's it going to end up? He composes himself, he sets himself, and he pushes it into the bottom right-hand corner. It's a brilliant strike from Harvey Elliott.
And Harvey Elliott, a bit of star quality as well from the Liverpool man. After the celebration, mobbed by all of his teammates and the substitutes and coaching staff, and then went out onto the pitch. You see him on his own, arms apart, looking at all of the England fans in the stands, and points at them, points at himself, and he has stepped up. The Liverpool man, Premier League winner this season. That's the sort of quality that you look to make the difference.
Yeah, well, we know he's a quality player, Harvey Elliott. He's been frustrated this season with his game time at Liverpool, and he's started slowly in the group stages, but now he's started to show his quality. And cometh the hour, cometh the man, and he's certainly stepped up to the plate.
Harvey Elliott's second goal in the 86th minute. We're now in the 87th. England have their sights again on going back to the final. The Dutch have made a couple of changes, but they're coming forward. Oh, and the shot from the right-hand side from Polku was close enough to Beadle, who was able to beat it away. Came over the head of a defender, but Beadle made a good save. Ball into the England penalty area. Cresswell heads this away. That's taken down by the newly arrived Van Brederode. Now the Dutch with a ball across the England penalty area. It's only half cleared away by Hayden Hackney. Vandenberg out to the right-hand side. Polku has now taken up a position on the right, so Van Brederode has come on for Manhoef, and Rahia has come on for Van Bergen. So Van Bergen and Million Manhoef are the two to leave the field. Harvey Elliott now with a touch. That's forward to Waneri. Waneri, as the Dutch try to get back, they're committing men downfield, but Waneri held onto it too long, and now the Dutch are able to move forward again themselves. Back to Hoos on the halfway line. Vandenberg finds the pass to the right-hand side. Here is the newly arrived Ajax man, Yuri Rahia, who was sent off in the group match against Ukraine, so he was suspended for the quarter-final against Portugal. England only minutes away now from a place in the final, back here in this stadium in Bratislava on Saturday night. Germany against France in the other semi-final coming up this evening. But the Dutch trying for the second time to find an equaliser. Vandenberg, Polku, his ball, attempted pass into the penalty area was intercepted or blocked away by Anderson. Now Jonathan Rose able to latch onto this loose ball and play it forward to Waneri, and Waneri runs away from Vandenberg into the left side of the penalty area. There's no one there in the middle, so he has to hold it up. Anderson says, give it to me on the edge of the area, and he does. And Elliot Anderson is then able just to very calmly take possession and keep it.
Yeah, didn't have to score. Don't have to score. What you've got to do now is keep the ball and slow it down.
And Hayden Hackney's played it into the referee, so that will be an uncontested drop ball.
Yeah, there's an opportunity there for Waneri, but credit to the centre-back, Vandenberg. He recovered extremely well, opened those long legs out, got back towards his goal. Waneri realised there's no point, don't have to score.
England 2, Netherlands 1 in this semi-final. England, the defending champions. The ball just being headed carefully back by Hoos to his goalkeeper, Roofs. He's got the ball down on the edge of the penalty area. We are in the 90th minute now. Downfield it goes. Cresswell gets up and heads it forward for England. Anderson then to Jonathan Rowe, who just got a touch on it and was caught by Roos. Anderson keeps it in. The referee's allowed play to continue, but Elliot Anderson has only one thing on his mind, and that is not going for the penalty area. He's taken it down into the corner quadrant, and he has won a throw-in.
Yeah, it's a good advantage from the referee. He realised that Elliot Anderson could drive down the pitch. I think the only concern was from the Hoos's point of view, another foul. Was he going to pick up a second yellow card? I don't think it was a second yellow.
5 minutes of added time, Stephen, and we are into that now. And England make their 5th substitution with Archie Gray of Tottenham Hotspur coming onto the field for two-goal hero Harvey Elliott, who puts his hands above his head
and applauds the England fans. And you can see them now, the England fans in the stands. Probably plenty of Liverpool fans who live in Bratislava actually as well. But two excellent finishes from him. One with his right foot, one with his left. And he is the hero for England if they do finish the job.
Yeah, 2 moments of quality from Harvey Elliott, and appreciated by the crowd there for what he's just done. I'm just trying to see what's gone on down that left-hand side, whether it's...
they've won a corner, England, after the throw-in. And they are managing the game, as you said.
Oh, get rid of the 5 minutes as easy as you can in that corner.
Yeah, now who's going to take the corner? Is it going to be Anderson or is it going to be Jonathan Rowe? And Anderson says, actually, you take it.
How's
and
that?
Rowe comes across, and then they take the corner. I thought it had come off Hoos, and that is given us a throw-in. So after all that, the Dutch are back in possession. We're in the 2nd minute of 4 of added time. Archie Gray fresh into the action. Archie Gray, the number 14. He's not played since the second group match, actually. He's not been on the field. Now here's Brooke Norton-Cuffy on the right-hand side. Brooke Norton-Cuffy down into the full-back position. Still going near the corner quadrant. The Dutch are able to win back possession and then play it away towards the halfway line. Cresswell gets up, heads it forward to Anderson. Anderson with a touchdown, and then Archie Gray will go back into his own half. Cresswell had to be quick, but he was. What a turn from Anderson. Excellent play. Waneri now, but the Dutch defender Vandenberg gets a foot in. However, it comes back to Hackney. Hackney then to Norton-Cuffy on the right-hand side, allows the ball to run. Anderson says, give it to me. The England number 8. Gray, back to Anderson. Anderson in the D. Left foot curling shot just over the top corner. Really inches away from a third England goal. However, they lead by 2-1, and they're nearly there.
Yeah, lovely play from Elliot Anderson. He's been really dominant in that midfield later on in this game. Opportunity arose for him to make the strike. It just clips the top of the crossbar, John. Great effort.
Just nicked it on the way over. So that's how close it was to an Anderson goal. 2-1 to England. The Dutch trying to come up with a second equaliser. Polku now. Polku infield, left-footed ball towards the back post. Van Brederode with a header. Then Beadle comes out, diving forward, gets a fist to it, bounces down, and Livramento just volleys it away over the halfway line. And we are now into the last minute of added time. England 60 seconds away. Oh, sorry, there were 5 minutes of added time. 2 minutes away. 2 minutes away for England. Ball to Polku, but he won't reach that. It's out of play for a throw-in to the Dutch. Tried to keep it in play. It is a throw-in, though. Hoos receives it back to Polku. Polku's cross all the way across the penalty area. Backing away over there on the left-hand side of the penalty area. It's played back to Harto. Now Ohio, the Dutch goal scorer, might have been tugged back there by Hackney. Ball into the penalty area anyway, but Beadle's able to come and take the catch after the cross from Harto. And he goes down, clutching the ball, and will take as long as he can here, James Beadle.
Yeah, brilliant from James Beadle. What a claim that is. Make sure you take the pressure off your defence, slow things down as much as you can. He's hit the wrong ball, though, up the field. I'm thinking, just hit Jonathan Rowe on the left-hand side.
England 2, Netherlands 1. We will have reaction from down in the tunnel after the semi-final. You'll hear that over on 5 Live Sport after 7 o'clock UK time. But here is Polku again. Polku trying to force extra time. If the Dutch can grab this second goal, it's just kept in play. No, it wasn't. Hinchelwood. Polku's done well, actually, since he switched to the right-hand side. He's really caused problems, and he's won a corner for the Dutch.
Yeah, he's direct, isn't he? Got that ability. And here it comes. Yep. Goalkeeper Roofs has headed up into the penalty area.
Well, they've scored some late goals, the Dutch. In their very first match, they got an equaliser in the 3rd minute of added time. They got the late winner in the quarter-final against Portugal. And now Roofs has come up. Everyone, almost everyone in the England penalty area. This might be the final hurrah. Maatsen with the corner, a deep one. Beadle comes, and the England goalkeeper catches it. And that could be enough to see through England into the final.
Yeah, high fives on the bench all round. Brilliant from James Beadle. Concentration. He was protected by Cresswell and Kwanzaa. Made sure he got the claim. Absolutely superb.
Down it goes, downfield. There is the final whistle in Bratislava, and Lee Carsley turns. There's a little embrace with Ashley Cole.
And England, the defending champions, the holders are through. They've beaten the Dutch in the semi-final. Harvey Elliott punches the air, the man who scored both of the England goals, and England are back in the final of the Under-21 Euros. 2-1, they've beaten the Netherlands.
Yeah, superb result for England and fully deserved. They had a lot of pressure on them for the first 20 minutes or so of the second half, but they weathered that storm. They got themselves ahead, but for a brilliant goal from Noah Ohio, a slight error from Charlie Cresswell, and he punished James Beadle for being high up the pitch, but they stuck at it, they believed, and another moment of quality from Harvey Elliott was enough to see England through. Professional, outstanding performance. England have grown throughout this competition, and now they'll believe that they can go on and win it.
Yeah, and in these conditions as well, Stephen, you know, that's tough.
It is very tough. It is very warm here. I think the game's a little bit later on Saturday night, isn't it, John? An 8 o'clock kickoff local time, which will absolutely help the players. It will relieve that heat out the air, hopefully a little bit more, and allow the players to play a little bit more of a high tempo.
And the Dutch, you know, they had to face the 3 suspensions, which certainly harmed them. I think it is fair to say that they were the outsiders of the 4 in the semi-finals, but still a difficult opponent.
Yeah, they were difficult. They were organised. They were... I spoke about the midfield. I thought the midfield was very strong, but they very rarely troubled England at the back line, apart from that one moment of quality from Noah Ohio, that goal that he scored. But apart from that, I thought England dealt with the threat of the Dutch extremely well.
So there we are. England are through. They've beaten the Netherlands by 2-1, and it will be England against either Germany or France back here in this stadium on Saturday night.